How are we all doing, guys? It's Skywatch time tonight. Just want to quickly double check that it's all working. Never trust it. There. If you are joining us, we're waiting for that blue to go. That is the last of the daylight. And therefore, once that's gone, we're going to see more of the night sky there. More strange and mysterious objects are flying around up there. So yeah, buckle up and help us spot the strange and anomalous in the night sky here live. We're coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of strange and anomalous things in these skies over the years. It was a good night last night, so I don't think tonight is going to be any worse, is it? Look at that, there we go, some movement already.
Zoom mode
We're going to see lots of objects like this tonight flying around up there. There's a hell of a lot of man-made objects, so we need to observe it doing something strange, something a man-made satellite just can't do there. We need to see it stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory. That will tell us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger. I got another faint one just there as well. So yeah, do say hello and let us know where you're all watching from tonight there. But buckle up and yeah, help us spot the strange and anomalous in the night sky. That big one here, that is Vega, a beautiful star that is 26 light years from us. They're not far at all. They're burning much hotter and much brighter than our sun, but it's given this lovely blue colour, and we're going to see more of that again when the sun fully goes round and that blue goes, the last bit of the daylight disappears, and we're going to see more stars, more movement, and more wonderful things flying around up there. I forgot my remote control. I'm going to need to go grab that so I can actually point the camera at things there tonight. But yeah, there's going to be lots of activity. I think I have 15,000 man-made satellites flying around up there. 10,000 of those are Starlink. Doesn't include the space junk or the dead satellites as well. TB, how are you doing there? Thank you for feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom.
Yeah,
Thanks,
lots
guys.
of man-made things up there. Some natural things as well. Going to see the odd shooting star or whatever. But that's what we need to filter out, is how we can filter out some of those explainable things and then be left with some of the more anomalous ones, the ones acting a little bit as stranger. So these skies are quite alive. So back in the 60s and 70s here, there was some very interesting activity, and we think it's still going on today. Maybe not as much, but there does seem to be a lot of anomalous things that we see here.
Zoom mode activated.
Let's zoom in on these two over here. Look, we've got this one over here, and that one over there as well. Again, we need to see them stop dead, shoot off at speed, to change their course or trajectory. That will tell us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger than the old man-made satellites that are flying around up there. Come on, website. There we go. Loady. I think it's working there. Yeah, no, that is all there as well. So yeah, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight there, and then so we'll zoom in on the good stuff there. You can use the grid and tell us if you see anything, something that I might miss, and we'll zoom in on those. DJ, how are you there? How's the equipment there? And there's a lot I'm seeing most nights. So we got it working, touchwood, again tonight. Not sure how. Can't take any credit for it. Just seems to have decided to work tonight for us there. But yeah, I don't know. You know what? It's been, for anomalous stuff, it's been a while. It's been a while. I say it's going to be at least been a week there. So that just means that we'll get a bumper crop, because it always happens. We go, oh God, it's been a couple of days since we've seen some, and then boom, we'll get like 3 in a row there. So maybe tonight is the night. God, this room is hot today. RJ, how are you doing? First in over on the tubes there, RJ. Good to see you there. I see the hearts popping up as well. Guys, it is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And the more eyes and minds that we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. Carl is in. How are you doing, sir? So yeah, lots of wonderful stars coming out tonight. We're going to see more and more as that daylight fades away. Again, the fainter light from those distant stars is going to start to poke through more and more. So it's going to look absolutely fantastic. But with the contrast will be better there, we'll be able to see those lower light objects that might be flying around a little bit more often. I think last night was very, very busy for movement in general. Hopefully we're going to get some more strange ones in there. Harko, how are you there over on the tubes? Gaza too, and Lilac, it is too hot again, and it's only getting hotter tomorrow. Now, I'll take you use the hammer then. See, about 15 to 20 a night there, zigzagging. So really, that is so rare for us. Like, maybe once the proper zigzagging. It really is so rare, sadly, for on our end. I'd love to see that more, actually get it on video. Although, it might be a product of the camera and the frame rate there. You know, it's going to, the longer the frame rate there, the more stretched it's going to look, and we might not notice some of that movement and that behavior. So it might be something like that that's going on in here as well. But the hammer was next on my list. I'm glad to hear it there, Carl. Yeah, we're all good. We're just a bit warm there. And Al, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hope you've been well. What you been up to there? And where are we in it? Okay, why are those military choppers every day around Warminster? I don't know, and it's not normal behaviour. I've not noticed this before, but at the minute it does seem to be more active. We know there are various things going on around the world, maybe more activity around here, more training maybe going on. Or so there, look, we've got some 2 objects here and here, slightly different in size, but similar speed. Should we zoom in?
Zoom mode activated.
Remember, we're going to need to see them stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory to say for sure that they are something anomalous there. As we we're just talking to DJ there about the zigzagging, that is the slam dunk there. We do not have anything in our repertoire as humans of equipment that can do that can move around. Essentially, when they're that high up, they're falling to Earth in a big circle, and just the same way that if I jumped off my roof, I couldn't just stop and zigzag around. You know, you tend to fall straight down. It takes a hell of a lot of energy to do that up there, and we just don't really have the equipment for it. All of the movement is done on orbits there, so it's ever so slightly subtle adjustments, but working with that motion that is already happening to kind of get you from where you want to be. It's not just a straight to that star to that star. Oh, this is a big one. To ignore the noise a little bit at a second, I'm 3D printing another little prop that we can use on the stream.
Zoom mode activated.
This is a nice, bright one. We're going to see lots of these tonight. So if I miss it on the screen, guys, do type in the chat the letter and number there, and if it's good, the mods will highlight it, and we can zoom in on all of those. And you see them all the time, and they even stop and flash at me once they get off. DJ, what equipment are you using for it? Maybe there's a difference in something like that. Maybe. Because, yeah, that is the slam dunk. That's what we want to see there. And Chromie, how are you doing? Thank you for the gifts there. They're coming. They are. I'm looking on my little radar now, Harko. Whereabouts have we got some activity? Oh, nothing down that side. Are we going to get anything? No, I've got nothing on the radar at the minute over here. Maybe they'll come up in a second there. And where are we there? AE, how are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? Guys, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from there. Okay, call them in. Thank you, DJ. Honestly, I would absolutely love to see it. There is a real interesting correlation with whether it's the calling them in through C5 or for other means, as say like the flashing stuff. There does seem to be a real cause and effect to it there. And Al, just got your ham radio license. We already know more than me then. I'm absolutely. It's on my list to do. It's on my list to do. But that is awesome. I am glad to hear it there. Again, the more people in the world of radio, I think, the better. There's more ears, I was going to say eyes, but the more ears on the skies, the better there. If you're just joining us, we're doing our live we're doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight. And we're coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, which is right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So a long history of the weird and wonderful in these skies. And we do tend to see something most nights, so hopefully it's going to be fantastically clear for us. We're going to see some strange things there. Chromie as well, thank you for coming in with the gifts. Appreciate those. All go back into the stream. And we're all good as well. I'm glad to hear that you are there. I know, couldn't we see the eyes, the 2020? See, I don't. I have awful eyesight there, even with contacts. Now, my luck, DJ. It's all going on. I'm just missing it. But maybe there is something in the digital nature of the equipment there. Maybe it's missing out on something. Is your mind? And just ask to show them to me. I think that could be the way in there. One just flown by you. That is excellent. We do want to start playing around. Say playing around is the wrong word for it. I do want to start experimenting in that sort of area, but I feel like I need to actually get my head into it to do it properly, not just do it in a sort of half-assed way. There as well. Amanda, how are you doing there? Stu is into Gandalf as well. Helen, good to see you there from Scotland. I would love to be in Scotland right now. It is a bit too warm for me tonight there. And Denise there, good to see you. Hopefully tonight is the night there. Normally, if we do get a couple of days of sort of where it's a bit shy in the activity, we normally then get like a bumper one. So we are definitely due, but the skies are going to look fantastic either way. They're getting busier, so hopefully it's another thing. Paul, how are you doing? Good, and thank you for the membership there, Sir Paul of members. I appreciate that one. Who got that? JM there. So JM, you'll be able to join us for our deep dives. We're going to be doing one this Friday. Can't remember what it's going to be on. It's going to be, normally they are all the documents, the whistleblower accounts that get released or leaked around the phenomena, all the official studies and things that get released by the government there that are always referenced in the UFO community, and it's our homework. We go through it all. We read it for you in real time just before our mainstream there. So do welcome to join that one there. Back to the phone again there, so a bit of squinting going on. Honestly, the phone screens I find like are really, really good quality, but you do get used to the size difference, don't you? In fact, on my phone, I can see more of the stars than I can on the big screen. I've got a full-on 27-inch monitor here, but where it's a bit glossy, it's not OLED like the phone. Actually, the phone is sometimes better for it there. Where did we get to? And X coming in the gifts as well there. Appreciate that one there. Laura Lass there, just I saw something interesting, but it was a helicopter. Honestly, sometimes these things really really can catch you out there. In C5, you have to be careful, just in case you invite in the wrong entity. See, that is exactly, I think, why I need to actually properly do it, rather than just a sort of token of it here. You don't know what you're messing around with there. Government released documents, and I've seen nothing before, nothing new. Honestly, some of them are interesting. There was some new stuff, I think, in the last drop. I was the most disappointed. I think it was at the last one, but we actually saw, them go from air to sea. That I thought was quite interesting there. And also the side by side, we see a lot of that FLIR footage of these orbs moving, but there's no reference points or anything like that. But there was one where it's one of these objects flying around in the infrared, but right next to a commercial airliner, and you could get a good comparison. So it's kind of subtle improvement, I think, but it was kind of in the area. So I could forgive it if it was more constant, if it was kind of build up over time. But they have stalled, they have slowed down, which is very, very disappointing. Oh God, I need to get. It's too warm in here, guys. It's too warm. Open your third eye once, and that was done. I started seeing the orbs and then the beings. Did you know that they've actually found very recently a real third eye? Like, we talk about this, don't we, as this sort of like a more of a spiritual or whatever. It's in context or in contact, able to perceive things that others, your other sensory organs can't do. But apparently there is a real life vestigial early form of the eye that is right where everybody says it is. Science has actually found it within us now, from earlier stages of evolution. So maybe there is that connection there. Maybe it is part of that. It always surprises me that it does seem to be that science has to catch up. And when it does, it normally comes through with more detail. But it's nothing new in the directions that, various people have been talking about for a while. That's a nice blue one up there. Should we zoom in?
Zoom mode activated.
There we go. It's on the dark side of the camera, but a nice distinct blue coming through there. Still need to see it. I do something strange though, and I am too obsessed with seeing UFOs there. Anything flying in the sky, and I'm like, honestly, Laura, I get caught out. I really do. The International Space Station is always getting me. You've been here to see me get caught out. But I kind of get it though. I used to snark at the weather balloons, the flares, going, oh God, that's just a rubbish excuse. Nobody'd ever mistake that. But they sometimes do. Not always, but they sometimes can. It has been very warm today. It is very warm, and God knows what temperature. I might have to go get the fan. I am actually dripping in here. Yeah, it's the pineal gland and another organ behind the large intestine. Don't remember the intestine one. Well, this was a different one. Obviously, the pineal gland has been, they're known about that one, but there is an actual vestigial eye, actually in there. It's a new thing that we hadn't noticed before. The blue star is Feigl. Now, that one, I think, that one's Vega, I think, that one. Whereabouts is Feigl, though? Oh, for fuck's sake. Come on, do what I say. It's too hot to be screwing around tonight. There's Rigel. Rigel. We've had Rigel, haven't we, on the when we've done the SETI ones. We've scanned past that one. The interactive grid should be on. It depends if the mods are on and if they're ready to start pressing the buttons. I have to see on that one. I'm sure it'll be working at some point soon, though. Managed to get on the Discord there and actively posted a video there I made of the Weird 09 conference. Oh, 100%, Gandalf. I'm looking out for that one. I did check earlier. I didn't notice it. I'll have to go through because that is right on my street. Thank you for persevering and all that. And guys, if you want to check that out yourself on the Discord, got the link in bio for that one. You're welcome to join. Share your stories, your experiences, or just read through what the community is putting in there. Raf, how are you doing? You back to work now? You're off for your long break. And, see, Carl's ready for the grid, so I'm sure it will start firing off soon, guys. And it means that the human body has 81 organs and not 79. Yeah, it was literally just one of these science podcasts that I catch, and it was like a new sort of thing, and it was what they compared it to was like, you know, the really early versions of eyes in that evolution development, where it kind of just senses light on or off in a really simplified sense. But if there is that organ, you know, it just makes you think maybe there's something else that it evolved to still detect, still to pick up on there, and maybe it's something to do, because it's just that it's right where everybody actually describes it, you know. That also blew my mind. Oi, how are you doing? Thank you for the gifts there. Is it sticking for anyone, or is it just the weak internet? Yeah, let us know, guys, if you're having connection to that one. It says it's okay on this end at the minute, but do we trust it? Saw 4 aeroplanes in the sky the other day. We used to have loads over Essex, loads, but here it is very, very quiet for planes. Very quiet. Oh, there you go. There's the grid. Thank you, Carl. Good shout there. Look at that one coming in. Should we zoom in on it?
Zoom mode activated.
Oh, it's a warm one tonight, guys. I'm going to have to go get that fan, I think, if I've got any chance of survival. Silly me, I thought I'd put the 3D printer on so I can print out another one of our props. But I've timed it wrong, and now the room is just hot. Or hotter, I should say. Right, did that one fix it there? Bloody thing. Sorry, technical issues as we're going on there. Right, in fact, I need to turn the brightness up, don't I? There we go. Oh, another bit of movement there. See that? Well, that's a faint one there, but good spotting.
Zoom mode activated.
So guys, if you put the grid in, the grid reference, the letter and number, if it's an interesting one there, the mods will highlight it and we can have a zoom in on some of the interesting ones. But if you're just joining us, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight. So we're doing our live UFO, UAP, Skywatch, currently live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of strange things in the night sky. Oh, the ISS will be visible in 15 minutes. Right, I need to get the remote so we can turn the camera around to the right position. Thank you for the heads up there. We're all good, DJ. Same goes to you and yours there as well. Meet X. Don't. That's why we put the grid in, so I could actually see them, because I was missing so many. So thank God we've got you guys doing it for us there. And you're back to work now there. But it's your birthday tomorrow there. But I'm at work, so you're not doing anything there. We'll have to celebrate. Raph, you'll have to remind us if you're on tomorrow there. Happy birthday in advance there. It is very warm, so right, let me get the remote for the camera, because I forgot to bring that up so we can move it around, hopefully catch the ISS. I think we're slightly off to the wrong angle to catch it at the second. I'll also bring my fan in so I don't die there. But yeah, get your questions ready, guys. Oh, that's too warm. I'll leave you with Alan.
It's me, Alan, the real star of the show. Follow us now, or I'm sending the mothership.
Thank you, Alan. I hope he was well behaved, guys. It's just blowing hot air on me now. Oh, right, anyway, where did we get to? Let's have a look. And what's that? The pinkish bit in the corner of the eye is a vestigial third eyelid there. Eyelid, like lizards and fish. I've heard this. And R4, absolutely sweating, mate. Anything strange, other than the amount that I can sweat, then no, it is just too hot at the minute, isn't it there? Not yet. You've caught us in good time. Oh, that was a nice flashing one. Will it flash again?
Zoom mode activated.
Oh, it's kind of trying. It's trying. Oh, there we go. Can we get a bit more? Yeah, just off the screen now. Oh, no, wrong way. Fucking zoom. Zoom out, you prick. Oh, sorry, guys. Anyway, that was a good one there as well. Alan's staring into your soul. Alan's his own leader. You got an Alan plushie. I warn you guys, everybody goes and gets one. They're not worth it. They're just trouble there. The ISS is above Brazil. In fact, let me move the camera around. Hold your hats to see if we can we're in the right part of the sky. We should be around here. That should be a right place to catch the ISS, roughly, I think. It's directly south, where it was the other night. No vaping out. Not on the stream. And where are we? Right over to the tubes. Where did we get to you guys there? 47 years young there. 47, but it feels like that. Definitely. That's a nice one. Look, it's an orange one coming in. Well, Alan wishes you a happy birthday for tomorrow in case he forgets. Bring on the autumn. Oh, that is going to be nice. You know what? Oh, yeah, August might still be a bit hot for us there. But yeah, the autumn will be quite nice, especially getting darker earlier. We can get on a reasonable hours there. And Gandalf, has anyone heard Tangerine Dream there? We always listen to them when we're down in Warminster. The early 70s and 80s albums are great. The background music reminds me of them. Why does that ring a bell? Either somebody's recommended them to me before, or it is one weird group that I have come across. I'll have to check it out tonight, Gandalf. There, and Rich is in there. Spring Chicken. Yeah. And we've all been good there. Disney's, how are you? In there. Yeah, where is Zen? Probably watching quietly there. Hey, up, very creative way of saying it. Alan is. And he doesn't deny it there. Already happening to me, Raph. Already out there. On the 10th, well, happy birthday in advance for that. That's not too far away, is it? Now, only a couple of days. You're almost birthday brothers there with Raph. Right, let's turn up the brightness, guys. See if we can spot a little bit more. There we go, as it's getting darker. And now that blue is going. We're seeing more stars, and we're seeing all of the colours from those stars. Absolutely fantastic. A little bit more blue to go, but we are almost there, which means we'll be optimal to try and get... to be optimum visibility there with that contrast to see those objects flying around, hoping to catch the ISS fly past in a bit. Where do we get to over there? Richard, remember Tangerine Dream there? I used to borrow the albums from the library. At least to be in the books, you stamped it a few times there. But good to see you. I hope you've been up to well. I remember the name, Disney's. How have you been? What have you been up to? Been having lots of fun? I don't know, probably still got your passport then for the stamps. I haven't done them in ages. It's been too busy for those. Just firing up the grid highlight there. Apologies if you fall asleep. No stress there. Carl's on it at the minute. He's got like 4 hands going at once with it there. Nothing's escaping him. A nice faint one coming in there, although too, I need to actually look at the other screen where the grid is on. And Laura Lass, thank you for feeding Alan.
Thanks,
nearly missed
guys.
that. All the gifts, the subs, the patrons, the members, all that jazz goes back into the stream. Currently we're saving up to get the show on the road, to get to Rendlesham Forest there, the site of the 80s crash / a landing just outside the US Air Force Base there. Pretty famous one. We want to do a live Skywatch from there. Every now and again we do take the show on the road. Good movement down there. Yeah, we take the show on the road to UFO hotspots and bring you with us, obviously. And yeah, there's normally very exciting. What is that thing that keeps flashing up? I don't see it on my actual other screen, but it comes through for you guys. Weird. There, Daniel there. The sky was amazing last night there. Will it be similar today? It should be. It should be. But one thing I'm learning with this is I kind of can't predict it. It's kind of like the weather. I think probably the weather is to do with it. There's always some change. You know, you get the settings just right on the camera. You go, right, it's clear sky. There's no moon. These settings should be good. And then you realise, no, actually, it could have been brighter. It could have been darker. It's a bloody pain in the ass. So, in theory, yes, it should. Good to see you in again. And tap the screen there. Thank you, Leanne. Do appreciate that. Is the tap in, the likes there, all of that sort of jazz. That helps us reach more and more. And like-minded people like yourselves there. And the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. But yes, it's the live UFO UAP Skywatch from Wiltshire here in the UK. It's right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. So do say hello and let us know where you're all watching from tonight there. But if you see anything, drop the grid in the chat and we can zoom in on the really interesting ones. We're looking all for the strange and anonymous there. DJ coming in with the gifts as well. Thank you, sir, for those. Right, where do we get to on the TikTok chat? I'm going to work my way through here, then bounce back over to the tubes. Chromie there coming in with the shares. Appreciated. There. Got all the tentacles going, Carl. I'm thinking of some sort of like Lovecraftian monster that's, you know, you've roped in to help us operate the grid. And where are we? Down there. No, just two thumbs. There, Joseph, how are you doing there from a very warm planet Earth there? I come in pieces. I come drenched in sweat. It is too warm, isn't it, Joseph? Good to see you there, sir. 10k already. Well done, guys. Why is TikTok having a sulk now? Sorry, guys. TikTok had a sulk for no reason. That was a them problem. Hopefully it should be back for you guys now. The warnings have gone. Thank you guys there. Leanne coming in with the gifts too. Is that a delay or am I still frozen on that one? There. Fucking thing. Is it working? There's always something going wrong, isn't there? Is it going to work? What's going on with TikTok? What's going on? I have to restart that one. Oh, that's a green one, isn't it?
Zoom mode
Worth
activated.
zooming. Look how green that one is there. Let's click that. Look at that. Very distinctly green. There, right. Let me just quickly restart for the TikTok lot. Pause, maybe? Let's see if the resuming works. Does the resuming work? Doesn't seem to be working right. Let's end that one. Let's go live again. Sorry, guys. You can sort yourself out. There we go. See if that one works for them. Where do we get to over with you guys over on the tubes? Oh, family stuff there. Oh my God, Disney. That is awful there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no. And oh no, never apologise, Disney. Never apologise. Look, sometimes we say, look, life gets in the way and stuff like that. But you know, sometimes honestly, you have a better offer as well. And hey, whenever works for you guys, always welcome in. Never have to worry about that. It's always good to see you though. It goes for everybody. Always welcome in there. Hey, TikTokers, is it working for you guys yet? There we go. Looks like it's working now. Sorry, guys, over on that end for those ones. And over 50 watching and only 20 likes. Oh, Raf, thank you for highlighting that. Guys, it is the likes, the shares, the tapping away that helps us. I reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. And the more eyes and minds on the old phenomena, the more we get to piece this puzzle together. Oh, Disney's Clacton. You know what? I didn't remember that one. So Clacton, I do love a bit of Essex, is where I'm from. But in the news at the minute, aren't you guys that are there? Caveman, how are you doing there? This man feeds off of an oxygen-rich room. If only. Just see me here huffing away with it there. Marcus, how are you doing there? You forgot to like and subscribe. No wonder you're not getting the messages there, the notifications when we're live. Up. And, oh, TikTok. It really does, Disney. It really does. There. I'll get over to you TikTokers soon. Hopefully we'll start to see you all again. Coming back in there. Well, hey, my model of the Hubble Space Telescope is finished printing. We've got a new prop for the stream. I'll bring it over in a second when it's cooled down. Oh, at least it's not just me there. Well, good use of the grid there. Another faint one coming in.
Zoom mode
Zoom in
activated.
on this one. So guys, you're just joining us, say we're doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stonehenge. Make sure you're following and subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we're on pretty much every night. Clear skies, as we're due a few more in a row at the minute of these. We're doing this, the UFO watch, those cloudy nights. We do the alien radio signal hunt there. We search the hydrogen line of our big dish, listening out at hopefully hear ET say hello. It's where, like the film Contact, is where the hydrogen, not the hydrogen line, sorry, it's where the whale signal was heard there as well. And if the moon's up and I can be bothered, we do a moon stream. It looks like that. We see strange shit there as well. So yeah, make sure following or subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are there. Down here as well. Caveman, it was using this pilot. Is think square. Oh, it's not loading for them. It's the pilot of the UFO there, and he was a co-pilot in Star Wars. Oh, yeah, you never know. There. This is Chill. How you doing, Tall? Good to see you in. Where in the world are you joining us from? It's very good to have you. And yeah, it's chilled. We've got some nice music when I shut up, if you can hear it. But we're just looking up to the night sky. And sometimes, most nights, in fact, we do see something strange. Various degrees of strange. Sometimes it is, wow, slam dunk. That is very, very strange. Sometimes it's kind of the grey area. But looking out for the weird and wonderful there. How do you feel about the aliens? Skeptics are welcome too. Treesaw, good to see you in there. Ah, and Marcus, thank you for gifting a membership there as well. Oh, no, who did? Oh, no, Andrew, you received the gifted membership. Thank you, Marcus, for sharing that. Appreciate that very much. It all goes back into the stream, help us improve what we do. But that means, Andrew, you'll be able to join us as well for our deep dives. We've got one coming up on Friday. So these are our little thank yous to the Patreons and the members there. So like our live streams, but we go, rather than doing the night sky, we do the documents, the whistleblower accounts there, the leaked images and videos, all the stuff that the US government is dropping quite regularly. Well, was dropping quite regularly at the moment there. It's our chance to do our UFO homework there. Let's have a look at these.
Zoom mode activated.
So yeah, you're welcome to join us for those, and then they're normally before the main event there, so everybody can still do a Skywatch just after. Well, we're going to see lots of movement like this tonight in the sky, and there's a lot of man-made objects flying around up there. So see the differences. Look at the size and the speed and the brightness differences. But yeah, lots of man-made objects. The only way we can say 100% that they are anomalous is going to be by their movement, by their strange behaviour there. Whitey and Amanda, good spotting there. How you doing, Scooby? Good to see you in. How have you been? Right, we're going to bounce back over to the TikTok there. Where did we get to with you guys? Leanne and Dordo and Harko, thank you guys for the gifts. How are you doing? Glad you found us again. Right. Harko's coming. I see the likes coming in there, guys. Do appreciate that. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all that jazz that helps us reach more and more. And like-minded people like yourselves, you never know who's going to come in and what experience with the phenomena that they are going to share, helping us all understand a little bit more about what might be going on. There you are, Doodle and R4. Glad to see you over as well. Carl's made it back in. X's as well there, and already 1,000 likes, guys. Appreciate it. Just frustrating that you just got to the 10,000 and then it bloody crashed out. But we do appreciate that because it does let them know that other people might be interested. It's how we meet all of you guys there. And Mark, how are you doing? Good to see you. What have you been up to? Anything exciting? Very good to see some old faces. We've had a few people in over the last few days. It's always welcome to see some old friends. We've gone over the year of doing this, only by a couple of weeks, but we've had our first anniversary. So it's good to see some of the originals who were here on those hot summer nights last year. So many stars. Honestly, it is crazy how many there are. And there's a lot more. If we zoomed in on all these dark patches, there's still stars there. Just the light from them isn't strong enough for the lens to pick it up. But it is so crazy how much is out there. Good spot in there, X as well. And it moved off screen there. Oh, I was a bit slow. Sorry there. Oh, and half hour ago there. Weird light seen. 10 minutes later, fighter jets there. Mark, whereabouts in the world was that sighting? Because it was last year. I remember people were saying that there was a sighting and then people were tracking the military craft on flight radar and stuff. It's somewhere through Wales, and you think look, the old UFO isn't going to come up on flight radar, but there might be clues. The behaviour of other people. Look at what they do, not what they say. In the day and age now where there is so much data freely available, even if it's not everything, you can kind of, paint the picture and then kind of look to see what the shape of that thing that's left is. It's getting harder and harder for them to keep some of these secrets. Now we are so connected, which is probably why we are getting that little bit of progress towards disclosure there. And the cardboard Star Wars, so funny. Stuart, I think I've seen that pop up like Star Wars on like a $1 budget or something, and I haven't seen it yet, but it did look good there. And Colin there, do you ever study a Vega? So Vega is in shot tonight. It's looking a bit green for some
Zoom
reason. I
mode
think that's the
activated.
lens. There you go. No, it's just that it was looking a bit funny. There you go. That's Vega right there. Big, a beautiful Vega. Is it about 26 light years from us here on Earth? And it's, you know, one of the brightest ones in the night sky for us this time of year. It's our companion. Let's get Vega back into the middle of the screen. Hold your hats. There we go. Oh, yeah, there. The purple colour
Zoom
is through.
mode activated.
It's a product of the lens. It kind of amplifies, exaggerates some of the colours, but they always look better. Right in the middle of the screen. There's Vega. Absolutely stunning. It's a bit of our stream mascot at this time of year. Guys, if you're new here, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Go and ask any questions you like. There's no silly questions here at all. We want to hear from you all. Perfect clarity for it tonight there. Can see some in R4. It is, we are so lucky now. Over the summer, coming into August, so later July and August are the best months for us because you do get a lot of sunny skies, so therefore very, very clear. But also the position of the sun is such that obviously it goes round for us, so we experience night. It's not fully round, so those objects off the surface are going to reflect more of that light, but they catch more light. And now a lot of man-made satellites will be doing that. Again, it's a lot of what we're going to see tonight, but any object flying around up there can reflect that light back to us. How you doing, Colin? As well there. Good to see you in there. And Emma as well coming in with the shares. Very much appreciated there. And Rio as well. Good to see you there. Mark from Lincoln. Love that. How are your skies tonight? Oh my God, the size of that fucker. It's not big enough to
Zoom
be
mode activated.
the ISS, but look at the size difference compared to some of the ones we've been seeing tonight. Look at that beast. Look at that. What is that flickering that keeps coming up on the screen? Does that come up for you guys, the weird flicker? Look how bright and purple that one is. Fuck me, that's actually... I don't think we've had a purple one. Have we had a purple moving object before? Like Vega purple? We've had orange, we've had green, we've had blue, we've had flashing and red. I don't think we've had purple before. What has that got to be explained on the satellite there? How is that reflecting purple? Very cool. Let's zoom in again on that one. Changing a bit. So the lens does amplify, exaggerates colours slightly, hence why, but oh my God, to green as well. Yeah, the green could be the amplification, that could be more of a white on that side, but why is it so purple in the middle? Very cool to see there tonight there. Okay, excellent. I'm glad. I keep seeing a flash count. I'm not sure if it's technical on, if that's reaching you guys. Oh, not to there. And Dave's LFC, how are you doing there? What do you think about UAP or UFOs? Are they us from the future? Now, Dave, that is one of the ways that I lean towards quite heavily. There's just not enough information publicly available to be like 100% conclusive. There's lots of circumstantial and contextual information, which I think really screams there's something going on. We should be looking, we should be investing our time into it. But, without that direct experience myself, I can't say 100% on these things. I'd also say as well that, if there's life out there, there's going to be lots of life out there. So the phenomena comes to us, doesn't it, in so many different ways, shapes or forms. It's unlikely to just be one thing. We might be seeing like 90% one thing, but I think there might be a few other things going around. But the us from the future, the greys looking like us, and if we follow current evolutionary trends, we're going to look like them. The fact of how they're interested in us, how they've interacted with us, it explains a lot of that. It really does. It's a very strong contender for a lot of the argument there. Dave's there, and Sacred Space, welcome aboard. Thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? Leanne coming in with the gifts. Thank you so much for those. Said it all goes back into the stream, helping us get on the road. So occasionally we do the show from various UFO hotspots, and right now we are in Wiltshire, so it is so right in the heart of crop circle country, so these guys are alive with the phenomena, but we do take the show on the road up the Iron Age hill forts locally. But yeah, we're trying to go to some more further away hotspots like Rendlesham Forest from the famous incident there. That is what we are aiming to do there. And Vega Dordo, yeah, look, good use of the stickers there in the UK. Well, okay, just like us there. I didn't think our skies would be as active as they are, but they really, really are there. And Mark there, no, I can't remember what the question was now. That was a very, very purple there. X. John, welcome in. Where are you joining us from tonight? That's another good bit of movement. Remember, we need to see it do something strange. For us to say conclusively it is something strange, something more anomalous than, man-made object there, we need to see it stop dead, shoot off a speed, change its course or trajectory. That tells us 100% that it is anomalous there. Coloration and flashing are interesting, just like that big fucking purple one, but it isn't conclusive, but it is very interesting there. It really was was a cool one there. And no worries, Sacred. Thank you for joining us in. Again, guys, if you do have any questions, ask away. There's no silly questions here as well. I'd love to, it's a melting pot of ideas. This is how we all learn. So want to hear from you all. Again, if you've had an experience, if you've seen something strange, that is for me my favourite part. That is the bit that good use of the grid there.
Activated.
That is the thing that has changed my opinion the most on the phenomena. Even though we've seen a lot of strange things, it's hearing how much activity there is from all of you guys and the range and how often. That has just been, I think, the most important part for me. There. Looks like it is generating. There might be something weird like that going on, Carl, there. And Leah sent a portal. Well, hello, new guys. As you're coming in there, you're seeing a UAP now. What? Describe it to us. Be our reporter on the ground. Want to hear it there. And DJ Lethal there. Hopefully, you might see the ISS pass over. Just passed over me in Plymouth there. Oh, I think you know what? Maybe that's what that purple one was. I didn't think it was big enough to be the ISS. But if it just passed over you just then, that would be about right for the time. Normally, it's just a clear, brilliant white, and it's much more rounded than that. It doesn't normally pass in front of Vega. So maybe that's about the right time there. And be on the ISS. Missed it there. But good spotting there, DJ. Sorry, I'm a bit behind. Yeah. I mean, I'm nothing if not eloquent there, Laura Lass. Maybe that's what it might have been. It might be. Honestly, the ISS has caught me out so many times. Called the missus downstairs once. Look, we got one. Look how big it is. So big, so bright, and so fast. Definitely confused me a few times there. Passed a few minutes ago. Does it align, do you reckon, with that sighting? There. Thank you there, Leanne, as well. Again, it's how we reach you all there, all the likes and that. Tapping it away there. Billie Jean, how are you doing? To there. V, how are we doing there? Good to see you. And Emma as well coming in with the gifts. Thank you for those two there. It's bright white. So that's why I didn't think that one that came part, the purple one, I didn't think was, because the ISS has always been bright white for us. But it was big. I don't know there. Right, let's bounce quickly back over to the TikTok. There, Ninja coming in with the likes. Appreciate those guys. Right, where do we get to with you guys? And you two there, Trusaw there. ISS Air, not far now. I'm not going to scroll down. You're going to be telling me it all was the ISS. And so anyone know what's going on with the spheres that were found on the Australian beach? I've seen a couple of images of those. I don't know in detail, but they do look kind of like, how aviation, and therefore I'd assume spacey fuel tanks look like, or various, reservoirs. But I don't know. I need to look more into it there. Oh, D2 red dot at the end of a string of stars. Is that a star or a dead pixel? It is. All right. Was it D2? Where was that one? D2. Oh, that's a nice bright one there. Good spotting. Right. Where was D2? That one. That's the only dead pixel we've got in that box is there. We've got one there, we've got one there, and we've got one there, and there. Oh, we've got another one there. So yeah, I think it's those four for those ones. Oh, Air Force One landed early in the UK and sounds like there has been a threat to travel. I'm not surprised there. Nobody can keep civil these days. And it's where a jam sandwich when he was putting the camera away. You never know. I have done silly things like that. I've gone, oh, it's a massive flaw, and realised, no, it was just a human error. I took the lens off once, trying to screw around with it, and I always push my luck. I never do it in a safe, dry environment. I'm always screwing around in the dark, trying to get it all working. And I took the lens off, and I noticed there was a little fleck of dust on the sensor, and in my head it was like, you're meant to use one of those blowy things, you're not meant to touch it. I ain't got one of them, and I'm out in the garden. I'll just blow on it just to see if I can get rid of this bit of dust. I spat all over the fucking thing. There, how you doing, Colin, as well, over there on the tubes? Was it you, Colin, that ordered a t-shirt I just saw last night? There, if so, thank you for that one. Appreciate it. All goes back into the stream. ISS is flying past the south soon there. Lilac there. Can England win the World Cup? I'm surprised they've got this far. Oh, look, you got that one there. Good spotting. And look at this one down here. D3 going into D3 there. Look at that one, nice orange. Should we zoom in on that one?
Activated.
Look at that, nice and orange, nice distinct colour there. Oh, you saw it the other night there. Honestly, I never get bored of the ISS going over. It's cool to think, people up there. Like it was the coming over now there. I've not seen the purple before anyway. How was anyone coping in the heat there? It's not as bad as it was during the heat wave proper, but it is really challenging me. So we're going to say then that purple one was the ISS. That was strange that it's coming through purple though. I've never seen that. Normally, in fact, out of the 5-6 times we've had it on screen, it's never been purple. It's never been any colour at all other than white. But it was, I think, the timing, judging by the comments. And I've not seen the purple one before anyway. Oh, no, I did that one. Oh, the hay fever is awful. I'm lucky, touch wood, I don't get that one at the second there. And, oh, bollocks, sorry, guys. It's scrolling ahead on me. Oh, it was the ISS tracking it real time. Thank you, Lila, who confirmed it there. I wonder why it was so purple then in colour. We've never seen that before. See, exactly, get caught out by it. And there are silly questions here. That's just too nice. No. There's all questions are interesting. All questions are interesting. And Tank, how are you doing? Good to see you there. See you too, Gandalf. Sorry, I'm so far behind, but keep it up there because the mods can still press the interactive grid button. That's a nice one. May still have Australian footage. Interesting. And I would order a mug there, but I ain't paying the 16 quid. Hey, that's a bargain there. Not as rich as Elon yet. You need to start selling 16 quid mugs there, Raf. The t-shirts are good. The t-shirts are good there. And I think they found or detected something in a Trump's plane. Ah, so they flew an old one. That is, okay, that is interesting. Because that implies like quite a level of sophistication there, isn't it? It's not just, somebody from a distance there. Check Skywatch. Yeah, I've been over there. Yeah, I've been over there. I checked out the one you linked us to, Tank. Excuse me. I have been over there, but I mainly skim through. I don't catch them live. The one they flew to England is to be checked out. Interesting. Oh, God, the world is weird there. And Laura Lass.
Nom nom nom. Thanks,
Thank you for
guys.
feeding Alan. Have I missed any more gifts up there too? Emma, Rio, and R4. Thank you for those guys. Appreciate that. All goes back into the stream. Another nice faint one there. Keep your eyes on it. You got to follow them across the screen, just like this one here. Even though it is going in a straight, steady speed, therefore we can't say that it is anything other than a man-made satellite at the moment. You keep your eyes on it there because it only takes that last-minute hesitation, stopping dead, shooting off at speed, a little zigzag, a loop-de-loop, the interstellar handbrake turn, anything like that tells us a slam dunk. It is something that looks stranger there. And again, not all of the objects we see tonight by any means are going to be anomalous. I'd be worried if there were more UFOs than satellites up there. But you got to pay attention. You never know which ones it's going to be because they're going to look exactly the bloody same until ET realises he's left his keys at home and does an interstellar handbrake turn over the screen, which again isn't going to be all of the time. But until they do something strange, we can't say conclusively otherwise. Where did we get to? TikTokers. Where did we get to in the chat? I think we got to about here there. Billie Jean coming in with the shares. Thank you for those. And good spotting there. DJ as well. Where do we get to? You videoed it. Excellent. And R4, it's supposed to go up to 30 degrees for tomorrow and Friday. They're really not looking forward to it. Oh, but it was 40 degrees, wasn't it? Like the other day was just killer. But yeah, tomorrow 30, feels like 33, I think, for us down here. Yeah, it was pushing me again today. I've had to bring the fan in again. It's starting to feel ill. It's ridiculous there. V, Sam, it was a roasting here in Scotland today. Did it get up to 20? Make the most of it, V. It's your summer. You got to take Alan down the beach. Well, how high did it get to where you guys are in Scotland? It wasn't purple, it was bright white. So the one that's still coming across screen there gave the Vega purple, didn't it? Like a really interesting one across the screen. But to the eye, it is white. It must just be the lens exaggerating it there, giving it that hue. Carl as well down there. V coming in with the shares. Thank you for those. Oh, it won't send you that's strange. Is it? Are we following each other? Because I might have to follow you back if I'm not already. I'll check it out later. If you send us a message just saying anything, then it'll come up in a request, and then I'll be able to hopefully make sure that works. So I can check that one out, DJ. The flying ants have had a hatch by mines. They're everywhere. Oh my god, absolutely insane. We had a bit of an ant infestation here until I went nuclear on them. Then I felt bad. Like I came out one morning after putting the ant poison down. I've been battling them for years, and they were just everywhere. It was ridiculous. And yeah, I went nuclear, put the ant poison down. It worked this time, and I just came out, opened my back door out onto the patio, and it was just like a graveyard. There were just thousands of just dead ants there, like the, you know, it just was like the Hiroshima for ants. I felt quite guilty after that. It was 26 there, V. Take Alan to the beach with his little monkey. It'll be green as well. You wouldn't tell the difference, would you? 26. That's good weather, that is. Oh, thank you there, DJ, for that one. And O2, how are you doing there? Did you get a new camera? No, this is the same camera, but the difference is it's all to do with how the atmosphere and the haze up there, how clear the night skies are. So yeah, it can really, really fluctuate. In fact, at the minute, this is the same settings as well as we are normally on. I haven't tweaked anything there. Look at this one, though.
Zoom mode activated.
That is a nice, a big, bright one coming in here, guys. Look at these. As I zoom back out, make sure you're... sorry, where's my... cursor gone. As I zoom back, no, that's in. As I zoom out, try and follow it, find it again. There you go. Follow it across the screen. There, going to D1, I think. There, you never know what one is going to be the one that acts strangely. That's why it's important that we have all of your eyes watching all of these things there. So if you see anything, call it out, the grid reference in the chat there, and the mods will highlight it, and then we can zoom in on the good ones. So if you're joining us, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of weird and wonderful things in these night skies. Do help us spot them all. Again, ask any questions that you may have. Say hello into the chat there. Do ask away. Remember, it's what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, or if you've seen anything strange. That is my favourite bit. And looking at that grid, good. That's a good one. Where did we get to with YouTubers in your chat? Where did we get to? And oh, 2 sparkle jewels there. Thank you, Scooby, for that, and for the other one there. That is pretty cool. I've no idea what they are, but thank you there, Scooby. Actually, I think we were saying, I think it's those things are going to be how we feed Alan over in the tubes.
Nom nom nom. Thanks.
So thank you for feeding Alan there, Scooby. Can you just run AC for your room? So I'm borrowing one of those portable small ones at the minute from some family, and it doesn't really do much in this room. Our house is strange. Even in like the bedroom, it just, as soon as I turn it off, it just heats back up again. But in here, I can't really get the exhaust out of the window because all of this equipment is now blocking the window. But I'm going to have to think of something because, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like the computers started to slow down and stop working, didn't they, during the proper heat wave there. And Rich there could be a UFOs going past up there all the time, but they're going so fast that we can't even detect them. And there's one video from a drone where a UFO covers a couple of miles in a second or two. Oh, 100%. Like they could be just going insanely fast there, but also their light profile as well might be different. Maybe they're not as reflective with light. The interesting thing though is that these that we're seeing now, so for example, this one here.
Zoom mode activated.
Again, what we're saying is these objects are flying around up there, whatever they are, and they are flying around in their orbit, so falling, I should say, falling around the planet. But look, they're reflecting. See how it catches that, reflecting that light back as they're traveling across it there. Now, whether it's a man-made satellite or ET, they are all going to be reflecting the same light. Most of the time, they're all going to be traveling in straight lines too. So the only difference is when, on the rare occasion that they decide to vary their movement in ways that satellites just can't. But so even though we're going to statistically say, oh, it's probably a satellite, it doesn't mean that it definitely is. Way too. I'm a bit late on that one. Doesn't mean that it definitely is. In fact, these things, just like this, has been observed before man had satellites up there in space. So, what the hell was doing that? What was flying around enough up there to reflect things like that? 34 degrees in Persia. 34. That is, yeah, no, we're getting into silly territory there. Feel for you there, Gandalf. And no worries there, Tank. Some of them are very, very interesting. The range of size and colours there as well. And You're not gonna encourage Alan there. And is it get Leanne in to change things around a bit there? Pretty good at that kind of things, like washing out. I'm the one that does that, Raph. I'm the one that does that, Raph. Yeah. Leanne wears the trousers. Right, where do we get to over on the TikTok? Good spot in there, guys. And the ice is passing over again at 1:08. Well, there's a chance we'll still be on then. So maybe we'll see it again then as well there. And to there, how can I get a moderator role? So at the minute, I've left all that to Kate, who's not in tonight, actually. So I'll ask Kate there. Normally, just hanging around enough is the answer. Hunting for signals there. I have all what we need. Oh, that would be very, very cool. Because I do think that is the one thing that we're missing when we're doing our signal hunts, is having somebody else pointing at the same part of the sky, doing it at the same time. So if we do get a signal,
Zoom mode activated.
we need somebody else to compare it. So that could be very, very interesting. That all. Again, need to see it do something strange, guys. Keep your eyes on it. I'm going to spin the camera around a little bit. I think there might be busier patches of sky. Hold your hats. But let's go all the way around here tonight. Yeah, got a little bit of movement. It's not massively busier, is it? Might go turn the camera and brightness up a little bit there. Where did we get to? Sorry, guys, the chat's jumping ahead. Oh, Meet V coming in with the stickers there. Saw a video today of an ant people in Utah. Don't tell them about my crimes, X. And Salsa there, how are you doing? Is this your live camera, etc.? Yes, it is. So this is, you know, my live camera about 10 meters in front of me, connected via a very long HDMI lead, and it is live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of strange things in these night skies. The camera is a Sony A7 there, but the trick is the lens. There's nothing fancy about it necessarily. It's just lets in a lot of light. I never remember what the one it is though. But guys, if you're over on the TikTok, check out the tubes if you haven't already, because it looks like this. First of all, the camera is up the right way. We've had to turn it sideways for the vertical TikTok there, but less of my face, more of the night sky, which is always a good thing. And there's also extra contextual analysis and stuff, so it's definitely worth checking out. Plus, TikTok is always having trouble throwing us off, and it's good as a backup there. That's the frustrating thing, not knowing 100%, Laura. Bang on with that one. We're so limited, really. I mean, it's amazing what technology that we have if we think about it. God, look, there's a few more around here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 on the screen. Amazing, really, what we can do, but it's also actually out in the scheme of things, not very much. So we have to kind of just be humble and remember our place, but it is so frustrating there. That is the main reason why we haven't had that official confirmation of life outside of Earth. Getting limitation of the technology. There's plenty of hints that it could be that way, but we just haven't got the kit to 100% prove it to a scientific standard for that one just yet. But there's so much individual, whether it's the odd radio signal there, whether it's the light patterns coming from the other distant stars, or all this sort of stuff. There's so many tantalizing hints that the universe is absolutely alive there. 34X on Friday, not a bit of me at all. There we truly are in a world of wonders. We really are. It's such a beautiful way of putting it there. Totally true. And that's how I like to think of it. I don't get how other people go through this world and are just not even a little bit curious. Not that they have to believe anything like that, but just the idea that things can be isn't just amazing if they were just a little bit weirder there. All that possibility that allows for there. And the anomaly there, how are you doing? Thank you for the follow there. And Zit Carrot as well there. Good to have you guys in. Thank you for the follows. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And Geo as well there. What's the purple thing in C2? Right, we've moved the camera now, sorry, but that was Vega. It's a star about 26 light years from us there. Big, bright, beautiful purple Vega there. Little stickers there, V. And a Starbright as well. Thank you for the follow, guys. If you are new here, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Again, ask away any questions you may have. In particular, if you've had an experience, something strange, even if you're not quite sure, would love to hear it there. That is the thing that has blown my mind in doing this. We've seen some strange things, and that is cool. But the thing that has changed my opinion the most, as it is, hearing your individual accounts, just how often you have experiences and the range of them there. That I just didn't know that before doing this. So I'd love to hear from you all there. And do you have Discord? Oh, 100%, yeah. Discord is link in bio for that one. So definitely try that one. There. We'd love to see you over on that one there. 100% O. I always forget to check it, but it is very, very active with everybody else on there, despite my slacking. But yeah, 100% join us over there. And that goes for everybody. You're allowed to join us in there. We'd love to see you over there, in fact. And again, if you had an experience, you've got some interesting pictures, put them in over there. It's like an online, old school forum come messaging app there, but it's a great little community hangout for us. And you're all welcome to join us there. And no worries at Geo. Where are we? Zool as well there. Wait, so what are we looking at? So, good use of the interactive grid. We are looking at the night sky live here, directly above my house here in Wiltshire, right where all the crop circles happen. I said not too far from Stonehenge. In fact, this little town that we are in is a little bit of a UFO hotspot. Back in the 60s and 70s, there was an event, it lasted 10 years, it was called the Warminster Thing, and it was called the Thing because it had every part of the phenomenon. It had landings, potential crashes, abductions, missing time, alien communication, contact, visitation, dead animal, or you name it, it had everything. And it wasn't like one or two things spaced out a couple of years. It was 10 years solid of activities. You could just turn up, and many people did. It become a bit of a tourist destination internationally. People would come here, go up the Iron Age hill forts that surround the town. Might be why, part of the reason why the activity is here as well. And yeah, they would just see things consistently. My favourite story is about an American radio DJ from New York, quite a famous guy. Heard about it because again it was with the rage at the time in the news internationally, and he went, I'm going to go over there, have a little bit of a holiday. Comes over, has an experience with the phenomena, stays, gives up his career, stays here to be with it there. But that happened as well with another DJ, and it's just weird, something about DJs in this town. But honestly, it's a strange place. So lots of activity in this sky, loving the grid usage for these two guys. Yes, it's a strange place. So we're looking out to see all of these objects flying around up there at night, and we need to see things like this, but we need to see them do strange things for us to know that they're just not one of the many man-made satellites up there. So we're hunting for the UFOs. We never know when, where, so we've just got to keep looking out, paying attention to see if any of them display behaviours which will filter it out as man-made satellites there. Stopping dead, shooting off at speed, changing their course or trajectory there. V coming in with the shares, thank you for that there. I will approve that one now. Some people it lets in, some people it wants to. It makes me approve. Let's have a look. That should be done. It should be done there. Thank you over doing that. Looking forward to seeing you over there. Having the stickers there, V and Carl. Very good use. And V coming in with the gifts too. Oh, Lady Danielle as well. Thank you for that as well. Appreciate that, guys. It all goes back into the stream, helping us improve what we do. Said at the minute we're saving up to get the show on the road to get ourselves down to Rendlesham for us to do a live Skywatch on location there. That's what we're aiming to at the minute. So it all goes there, including the merch. Look at our little Skywatcher t-shirt tonight. See? I am quite a fan of those at the second. In fact, let me just quickly check that because I keep forgetting to refresh this. It's going to, my little camera's going to go black for a second. There we go. There you go. That's just our merch ad at the second there. So it just shows you the t-shirts and things that we've got. See, let's Signal Hunter for the SETI ones, logo ones. We've even got a little, there's the mug, a UFO Hunter's notebook there. So, you know, your sightings log is in there as well. And when you get one, take a picture of yourself, put it in the merch showcase channel on the Discord, and it will all appear here. You with your stuff there. There's A up with a mug and t-shirt. And Carl there, t-shirt too. So, Colin, if you know when you get your t-shirt, you're going to take a picture, put it in there as well, so we can see you guys on a stream. Where did we get to as well in the chat there? There's a lot of space mobile satellites passing over time. There is a lot up there, isn't there? I did not realise how much there was there. Alan, give us a wave. Oh, thank you, V, for feeding Alan.
Nom, thanks, guys.
Sorry, he's getting slack now. Now they've taken away his little alien pet. See, he's not been the same since V. You need a reminder there. And how are you doing that? I'm literally looking in the sky now, and I can see all these orbs moving. The skies are alive, and if you get a really clear night, you can see a lot of this movement yourself with your own eye without the camera. Now, this camera in particular does let in about 2.5 times the light that the human eye can see, so that's why we're seeing a bit more. Those faint stars, the light reaches the lens, and it's able to see it a bit more than you can see there. But even with the eye, if you've got a good area, you can see it all going on up there as well. And Stephen, how you doing? Is Stevens? Yes, it is Stevens. How are you doing? Where are you joining us from? Is this real? Yeah, it's real. It's live. It's a live feed coming in. This is the skies looking up from Warminster in Wiltshire, so right in the heart of crop circle country there. And it's all there. So you're looking at the zenith right now, just straight up. So no, we're actually looking, pointing south at about maybe a 20-degree angle, sort of up from the horizon. So we're not quite right up at the second, mainly because the little motor that I use to turn the camera left and right is meant to do up and down, but it's not at the minute. So that's one of the upgrades we need to sort. And when we can do that, we'll be able to do 360 everywhere. But at the second, not quite straight up. So at the minute, if I spin the camera a little bit more, that bright star on the edge in A1, just moving around now, that is Vega. So if you're over on TikTok, right, this is the night sky. We've turned it that way so you can fit it all in. So yeah, it's looking south for it there. And Steve out there, nice interview. Where is the crazy alien? Well, we've got Alan here. Alan? Yeah. We've got Alan that, you know, I say helps out, just kind of causes more trouble than he's worth. But the activity, the actual stuff that we see in the night sky, we do normally see a reasonable amount of stuff, but there are different degrees of stuff. So the slam dunk, the 100% for us, is that if we see a craft zigzagging around, varying from a straight line at a consistent speed, because up there in space, that's not how our stuff moves. We can't really do it. It takes a lot of energy. They're kind of falling in a big circle. So that movement is the real, well, what the hell is that? The proper unidentified flying object there. We have no idea what it is, can't explain it. But there's a kind of a middle ground. Like once you do it for a while, you kind of get a feel for all the ways that these satellites, you know, the different brightnesses, the different speeds, the different sizes. And sometimes you'll see them and you'll be like, that is odd. I can't tell you why, but my gut is telling me that one's odd. But again, if it's a UFO or a man-made satellite flying around up there, they're going to look the same most of the time. And we are asking for that rare occasion for ET to realise he's left his keys at home and do an interstellar handbrake turn on the screen there. I'm good. I'm glad to hear it there, Stephen. And I sent us photos of your station. I love it. Oh, that's a flashing one right there. Is it going to flash again? I'm looking forward to seeing those ones there. Oh, yeah. Oh, another flash there. There's a different one this time. Up there as well. A few flashing. Very interesting. Keep an eye on those. Again, satellites can appear to flash down to us, but as if they flash multiple times, that is from the same spot. That is very, very anomalous there. And you've seen something there. Excellent. Well, do help us spot those things. If you've had an experience yourself as well, like we'd love to see that. Dodo as well. Thank you for feeding Alan.
Nom, nom, nom. Thanks,
Thank you for that. All goes back into the stream there. And yeah, my project next year is in uni is to determine the shape of these objects there. Mostly old satellites. 100% they are. And you know what, Zul? That is fascinating there. Fascinating because I know there's some very clever people that even though we're getting this very limited data, you can still figure out a lot about it. Now, it's far beyond me to really understand. You know, we have to rely on that movement profile. But if you've got any ideas of how we could, from down here, start to maybe analyze it a bit more, help us filter out against some of those man-made satellites, that would be pretty cool there. I'd love to hear your ideas on that front. Right, I'm going to bounce back over to the tubes. I'm across two chats tonight, so YouTube and TikTok there. So I'm going to just finish up one and then go over to the other one. How you doing, Astronomy? Good to see you there. Right, where are we? Where do we get to with you guys on the tubes? Where did we get to? I'll try and find it there. And if you assume no one came before us, that is the problem there. Oh yeah, don't assume it. No, there's a lot of there's a lot of gaps in our understanding that could easily allow for things like that. You know, pre-human, early human civilizations, but also pre-human. I mean, that we just wouldn't know a lot of the time. Like, we do not have a lot of data around these things. There's plenty of gaps for these things to hide in, but sometimes there are. There are, direct individual pieces of evidence that could point to it there. And Scooby, so I'm a little disappointed, but understand you need to sleep. Sleep. I haven't checked out the show disclosure. I have actually, and every time you come in, I've actually been meaning to ask. I have popped in briefly, but it is a bit late for us there. But I have hung out for about 5 minutes on occasion. I'm not a typer though, because I find it very difficult to type. Hence why I'm so slack on the Discord. I'm useless at that part of it. There. because I'm dyslexic, my spelling is awful, so I just hate typing. I've conditioned myself over the years, but I have checked it out for a few, not for like the full things, but I've done like a 5-minute run here and there on a couple of occasions. I keep meaning to at the weekend do a proper run, so what I'll try and do, I should be able to do it this weekend. I should be able to come in and I might drop in a hello just to see it there, but I'm no good at typing in the chat. I'm no good at like that, sadly. Statistically impossible we come first. Oh, impossible is a strong word, but I think statistically unlikely at the very least. I'm with you on it, Tank, I think, there. But I think it's a good way. I mean, what I saw, I did actually quite like, Scooby. I mean, it did look a little bit up my street. I'm going to admit, I did like that. I'm a nightmare for participating. I stick in my head up. I'm the guy at parties that kind of just sits in the corner, you know? Not that I go to many. I don't like the introductions or sticking my head up. But it is a good vibe from what I was watching there. And just watch a Louis C.K. there. What's that one there? And you still assume. No, you can't assume. You can't assume. And just watch Louis C.K., a new stand-up, and he said that we can't be in a simulation because those pads that the chicken legs sits on, the bag covered in the chicken juice, wouldn't exist in a simulation, surely. That's actually like the detail. Surely they would have improved that for a simulation. I like it there. There's no way we come first. I see. There is like, again, it might be a low chance, but I do think that there is a plausible for it there. You know, the rare Earth hypothesis we haven't fully disproven yet. You know, there is a, again, very, 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 very unlikely, not way that I believe, but like I do keep a sub 1% chance, like, you know, with these things. But I do think it is unlikely there. So civilizations that have been raised and destroyed before we were all burnt. I do believe that way. I do go that way. I just, you know, I don't know it, if that makes sense. There, how are we doing, Emilio? Good to see you there. And awesome. I will do that, Scooby. I'll try and do it there. But yeah, I'm a nightmare to get chatting in text. With that. Oh, awesome! Yeah, well, I will make the effort. I might need. I'm going to have to set myself a reminder there because that's the problem. Is I tend to forget a lot of the times. But I'll try for this weekend because I keep going. You know what? I'll stay up later on the weekend. You know, and then I forget. There and it's human ego eccentric there. Well, that is part of all of the things there. I don't think it's not because I think that we're superior and we're the head of the game or anything like that. It's more that I keep that few percentage back because it's a statistics argument. That's not the same as, you know, as like measured evidence of it. You know, it's a prediction still, so that's why I'm like, I do believe it. Like, I totally agree. Like, if I had to put money on it, I would say there's been many civilizations probably before us on Earth, you know, maybe even non-human, but I would put money there, but I wouldn't say it's 100% just because, you know, of the thing there. But again, there is individual cases of evidence, but again, it's the details around it there. Oh, you saw the poll with the strange stuff you're interested in there. And what other strange stuff are you interested in? Lilac, good question. Has anybody else seen it? Open the tubes. We've got a little poll at the minute. I was just curious to see where your interests overlapped or not, the other way around. We've got some movement here, there and there, guys. Oh, another 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we had 9 there on the screen. They weren't very bright ones, but very, very cool. Keep your eyes on those guys. Yeah, so we're just curious to see what they're... And I'm mainly thinking, because the winter rolls in, and obviously we have our SETI streams as backup, but we did get to the point in the winter where we do like a week of the radio signal hunt, which, I mean, you know, that's part of the job, but I get a little bit mind-numbingly bored. So I'm trying to think of those associated things just to spice it up occasionally. Like, the main event is always the Skywatch. If it's clear, that's what we've got to do, but those times when it's a little bit strange, thinking of some, you know, some B-side stuff to vary it there. So seeing, you know, what the interest in, you know, the paranormal, the ghosty stuff, the cryptids, and all the other weird stuff. For me, I'm interested in anything strange, I think, for it there. I want, especially before the show starts to raise your... okay. At what time was it? Was it 1? No, it was 2 a.m, wasn't it, my time, that you guys go on. So what time, or how long until you guys are on tonight, if that makes sense. Then I'll be able to work out the maths. I think it works out for 2 for me. And Zully, how are you doing there? Sent an application for the Discord. Let's have a look there. I have a lot of ways to help improve searches there. Zully, 100%. Always are welcome. Did I just approve you on that one, or is my Discord slow? Let's have a look. Have you come over from the TikToks? Because Zool was on the TikTok, very similar. Double check, yeah. No, I think it must be you there. But good to have you over for that. So yeah, you should be allowed on. I'm not seeing anybody in the pending application. Where are we? Where did we get to there? But it is well, not essentially, because I'm not putting. Oh wait, no, I've done that one already. Sorry, guys. Louis is also hysterical. Favorite comedian. So you gotta love a bit of. Who is it? I'm watching something at the minute. It's called Letterkenny. Have you guys seen that one? It's like a rural Canadian comedy. At the minute, it's a bit dry. It's worth a good few episodes there. Opens the back to access there 30 minutes before the show. I will try and get in on those. I will. There we go. I changed my language. Yeah, I need to make more effort, I think, there. Right, going to bounce back over there to the TikTok. Sorry, guys, the heat's getting to my brain at the second. Where did we get to? We got to astronomy in, didn't we? There. And in there are the zodiac constellations in this view. So there, you know what? There, I don't know. That's a good question. Right, let's have a look. Where is my sky map? There will be, but I just don't know which ones, essentially. So, and over on TikTok, you've got the camera turned sideways to fit vertical. So if you want to see it out the proper way, go over to YouTube at the thing UFO. Right, so that one's Vega. Where's Vega? My alignments here. Is that you? No, that's Altair. Where's? Is that Vega? Where are you fucking hiding? Oh, that's Denham. Right, there's Vega. Right, okay. So that is Lyra. Okay, so basically, yeah, this is part of Lyra. So Vega's part of Lyra. So this is the zodiac for Lyra there. I have no idea. I never remember the zodiac symbols for me. It goes in one ear, out of the other one, sadly. It's a good question, though, and thank you for asking it. Hope I see everything here. Stephen, hang around long enough. Sometimes we have dry spells where things are a bit slower, but normally they're quite fruitful, and we are getting into the peak. So towards the end of July, and in August, that was our peak. We had so many awesome sightings then. So you come in at a good time. We're on pretty much every night, guys. So do make sure you're following and subscribe, guys. Said here pretty much every night. Clear skies. It's UFO UAP Skywatch, right from the heart of Crop Circle country here in Wiltshire, and just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of strange and anomalous things in these skies. But also, when it's cloudy, as I said, we do an alien radio signal hunt. Kind of like the film Contact. We're listening out on the hydrogen line, the channel on the dial where scientists think we are most likely to hear a message from ET. Also where the whale signal is heard. And then the moon is up, and I can be bothered. We do a moon stream, and it looks like that. We see strange things are there too. So yeah, make sure following and subscribe, get those notifications when we go live. Sorry guys, where did we get to? Where do we get to in the chat? Keeps jumping ahead on me. Sorry guys. Not all of them are satellites there, and you can also be metal scraps or just the satellites, and who knows. So you're right there, there's a lot of space junk up there. The biggest space junk, I think, as a rule of thumb, this is never 100% accurate, but the biggest space junk is more on weird orbits that kind of go far out, so we don't tend to see them with brightnesses unless it's a really big flash, like a one-off. So most of these things are still within orbit there, so they're mostly the satellites there. The smaller bits of space junk aren't big enough necessarily to reflect the light, but it is principle that there are odd bits. We do have to account for it there. Also sometimes see whirling things in the sky right by the Netherlands, and it's crazy what you can see. That is interesting. So the whirling thing. So what's that? What describe that a bit, because the movement is interesting. Movement is what can tell you that it is something a little bit stranger than a man-made object up there. And astronomy, we're all good. How are you doing there? I must have missed a few because I'm only just getting to those ones. or ER must be more this program. Sometimes he fast things in the sky like a stealth, but you never hear anything. And well, that again is one of the observables, or should the lack of observable, the silence there. Everything that we know with our human craft makes noise there. Even if the engine itself, even if you had a plane that was running on battery power, it would still make noise as it parts the air.
Zoom mode
that
activated.
is one of the weird things that we get with the UFO phenomena, is no sound heard a lot of the time. Very, very cool. I mean, sometimes if a plane's very, very far away, then you're not going to necessarily hear the sound, but most of the time you do. Does depend on distance, though. Where did we get to? Sorry, guys, it just keeps jumping. I'm finding my new positions where we all are hiding. Down there. Don't look every day. We will now. You're joining us every night there. Good spotting, a bit slow, but keep it up, DJ, because it's good for the mods and they can highlight the grids there. R4, I'm back. I had to put the bins out. You can relax now. I had to do that last night after the stream. Always froze me off. Adam, thank you for the gifts as well. Appreciate all those. Go back into the stream. How are you doing, Adam? Hey, listen and watch there, and it's 1:13 in the Netherlands. Oh, we're at, just 19 minutes past midnight here, so we're an hour behind there. And thank you, Stefans, as well for the follow there. Good to have you in and part of the crew. What's happening with Starship Alan V? We haven't done it mainly because we've had such a good run of Skywatches. We just kind of got out of a pattern with it. He's still there. You're all up to trouble on the Starship Alan, but I'm sure it'll probably get more prevalent in September. So for you guys not knowing what I'm on about with the Starship Alan, basically, can I bring it up? I don't think I've set it up on this new computer. It's a visualization of all of our Patreon members, like a virtual starship, and you see all you guys mingling around the ship, doing all of your ship chores. It's quite fun to kind of every now and again bring up. But we've been lucky with the skies. Good use of the grid there, guys. V coming in with the shares. Appreciate that. So it is how we reach all of you guys there. The likes of shares, the tapping away helps us reach you guys. Yeah, here are more stories there. And do you record how many you see? So I don't record the individual numbers. We do clip though. If we get like an interesting sighting, we do clip that file. And normally, I'm getting back into routine with this now. We do normally post those as clips, as shorts on YouTube and as TikTok clips. But I am a bit slack with it there. How you doing, Adam? Just getting to there. X as well. Thank you for all the gifts. I wish I could reveal the community gift. Sadly, I did try it the other night, but I couldn't find it even on the mobile one there. Most planes I see are the wing lights flashing. So yeah, again, a lot of the time, you're going to see that. In fact, when we do get aircraft flying over, it's quite clear when we get aircraft, like for us on the lens here, because it's just larger. A bit zoomed in, it's closer to us there. You can sometimes see like the wing outlines of shape. You can definitely see all of the strobes and all of that going off. So they're quite easy for us to spot. That's a big one on the edge of the screen there, right? I don't know if you all can see that one. Where did we get to? We're all good. I'm a bit hot, Adam. Bit hot there. And thank you. No worries. Get an Alan on Temu or eBay. You definitely can, but is it worth it? They are hassle. I'm warning you all there. Oh, before. Good. But you were right on that one. Very well done there. Let me get over to the tubes again. Let me see where you were at to there. Oh, you're off, Raf. Thank you for joining us, Raf. Happy birthday for tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see you later on in the week there. That worked. Friars roast there. And Zully there, I put my little suggestion on how to improve the hunting in the Discord. Zully, thank you for that one so much there. Very much appreciated. I will check that one out at some point, hopefully after the stream, but it does get late for us, so I'll try. But I do appreciate that one. That is very, very cool. V, thank you for the U hit. That is very much appreciated. I think it's calmed down a bit now, but that is very handy. I forget actually that, yeah. That's what we need, the U here, so I can know where to scroll back to. There. 300 minutes there, R4. Wasn't it only like yesterday that you hit 200 minutes? That is crazy there. And Sedge from Newcastle, how are you doing tonight? How warm is it in Newcastle for you? It's bloody ridiculous here at the minute. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch, all right, from the heart of Crop Circle Country here in the UK, just down the road from Stonehenge. So lots of weird things in these skies over the years. Do say hello, let us know where you're watching from, ask any questions you may have there, but if you had an experience, we'd love to hear that as well. It is what it bloody is, Ed. It really, really is. But yeah, make sure you're following and subscribed. We're on pretty much every night. Clear skies, it's the UFO UAP Skywatch. Cloudy skies, it's the alien radio, no, that's the Moonwatch. It's the alien radio signal hunt there. Like the film Contact, listening out the hydrogen line, hoping to hear ET say hello. And then there's the Moonwatch there, when the moon's up, I'm going to be bothered. And Joseph there, how are you doing? Yeah, sorry, I don't know if you heard me say hello earlier, because that's when TikTok froze for us and we had to restart the stream. But hello, Joseph, good to see you in there as well. And is this, how are you doing there? It is warm today. Sat outside today, it's 34. Oh, it's too hot there. It's not, I'm just grateful now, after we had the 40-degree plus heat wave, though, like, I'm just grateful it's not that hot. At least you're remembering to hydrate. It's slowing down a little bit. I can remember a little bit, but struggling there. Been super hot on Merseyside today. Still is. Yeah, it's just not cooling down in the evenings. That's the ridiculous part of it. And back in the 90s, I saw the F-117 Nighthawk there. It flew directly over our house. My brother saw it too. No noise. It just happened to look up, and it's the only visible. It's only visible. It's the orange streetlight lit it up. That is insane. How could it be no noise? How high up would it have been as well? That's crazy. But that is pretty cool to hear that. It's just lovely outside now. I'm going to go stand outside after this and put the camera away. But this room, with all the lights and stuff, it gets a little bit warm. But we've got to do it. We've got to be hunting it. Oh, that's some good use of the grid. Right, I'm going to spin the camera around. Holding to your hats, guys. Come on. There we go. What have we got this way? See what we've got in this part of the night sky. You don't know until you move there. You don't know what you're missing out on, do you? UK heat is way worse than heat on holiday. Oh, it is. What is it? What's the stereotypical thing? Well, like it's a dry heat, or it's a summit that we say isn't there? You know, it's a special sort of heat. Our one, but it's true. And it is a very interesting account there. That's for the silence and rock as well. It's so hot that I would sleep in the garden, but spiders and insects frighten more than the aliens. Rock 100%. So when I go out for my cheeky little, out there of a night, and just normal tobacco, I lean against some, like my garden wall plant pot. We've got a terraced garden basically, so as soon as you get outside, small patio, stairs, and the camera's at the top of the stairs. But yeah, I've got some sleepers doing the terracing there, so I sit my arse, I back up, just kind of rest against the sleepers there. And the problem is we're getting to spider season now, and this has happened two of as many nights. I lean against there in my shorts, as it's just been a hot day, and then I'll feel a tickling on my leg. And then you go, oh. So then I start to shake to try and get rid of that, knowing what it is. And it falls down your leg, and then it's in your shoe, and then you think you got it off, and then you feel it tickling you again. And the other night, I'd gone out, didn't feel the tickling, got back in, closed the door, ready to go up to bed, and, just turning all the lights off and stuff. And then I felt the slight tickle from my inner thigh, well up my shorts, and then I saw the mass of the spider drop out from my shorts onto the floor and fuck off. And I'm just like, But bearing in mind that in that garden, in that vicinity, very close by, I have seen potentially black widows, if not they were false widows, and also the tunnel web spiders with those massive fangs as well. So it's not necessarily your garden variety there. Oh, that's a good point, Scooby. Yeah, the wind could direct the sound. So yeah, that is a very good point. But yeah, so I've had my share of spider interaction lately. It's not for me. It must have been quite low for the street. That's what I was thinking to illuminate it there, and it was the shape that gave it away there. But yeah, if it's that low, how much effect can the wind for it there? And oh, the spider's still living. I haven't seen the tunnel webs this year yet, but I think they were a bit later on. I think they're a September spider, and their webs are still there. I haven't had the balls to remove them yet. Oh, that's a bright one there. She's zooming on it.
Zoom mode
Remember, guys,
activated.
we need to see it stop dead, shoot off at speed to change its course or trajectory. That will, for sure, let us know that it is something a little bit stranger than one of the many, many man-made satellites up there. I feel the tickling on my arms and I always freak out. I just smack my... I promise I've started to feel that just generally. I don't know if it's the wind or it's in my head, but yeah, I feel the spiders there. Poor spiders, Joseph, there. Yeah, thinking of how much it stressed me out, the poor spider being up there. I know. I've got to remember though, because I'm so in a habit of leaning there, but obviously I just can't do that anymore. I don't know what I am going to do though. Should have seen the big mutant spider that came out of my cupboard when I was looking for the hedge. Oh no. I've seen spiders in this room. Like, I've been on stream occasionally. The window's directly in front of me behind the monitors, and I have to have the window slightly ajar because the cable's coming in. And I just saw I think a couple of months ago now, we saw the legs just come around the window like that, and I was like, and I'm like on the camera like this, trying to back away as watching this spider disappearing behind the desks where I would not see it. We always either go into spider chat here or other than we're there. I know, Laura, it was trimmer than the other day. And but there was me and my mate see a big orb. Asked it, and it flashed 3 times. It is that connection, is it? The correlation of cause and effect there, and the fact that you've done it multiple times, that it just, there is something going on. There is something really interesting there with that. I need to record it. That's what I need to do. Spider like the plums. Don't they lay their eggs in plums? They're making me go all itchy. I did know as soon as we started talking about spiders, though, we lost about 10 people. I understand. I evicted 2 spiders from my living room. So, see, I wouldn't want to hurt them necessarily, unless they're after me. But, yeah, especially, again, it's the country. Got to get used to bigger spiders. Especially in September, they just come on in. We've had big ones, but the normal big ones. But they're still big there. So something odd while sat outside looking at the stars and a satellite normal brightness, and then it flashed. Very interesting. So satellites can appear to flash. How many times did it flash? Because that's the interesting thing. So if it's a repeated flash, that object, satellite or something interesting, could be rotating, and those different sizes, it's different reflectivity. So, you know, bright, dim as it's rotating away there. Or sometimes drop time. So yeah, if it's rotating, then basically, see it flash, no flash, flash, no flash. So it's doing that if it's moving. Or as it gets to the peak of its arc relative to us and the sun, see how it flashes there? Then it goes flash as it goes round. But doesn't mean that it's not anomalous there. But when you get, you know, weird patterns with it, that is incredibly strange there. And it's surprising how bright they are. There's earwigs I can't stand there. It's childhood trauma. I haven't seen earwigs in years. Proper 90s bug, that is. Although I tell you what I did see. I saw one of those orange and black striped caterpillars the other day. I haven't seen one of them since being a kid. There. That's one reason I'd avoid Australia. But I'm so torn with Australia. On one hand, I'd love to go because I've got parrots, you know, and I'd love to see them out there in the wild, you know, just doing their thing. I think that would be really amazing. But the downside, the spiders there. Spider chat or what snacks? Exactly, V. Yeah, it's spider chat or snacks. We descend into these levels there. Unless they're after you, the scary, like the scary gnomes. Oh, the scary. You're gonna when we're back on location, you're gonna see more of, I imagine, the scary gnome sort of incidents there. Me getting scared by things that aren't actually there. I don't know, just put them back in the gun. I think it's the sensible way, isn't it, with them there? Although sometimes they don't leave you much option, do they? It's a nice 3 here. I'm surprised those ones that were up my shorts in my panic and didn't end up biting me just out of their fear. But I had to kind of give them 10 points for that. I hate moths too, though. They leave dust on the walls. They just reminded me there, birds are quite dusty. Apparently it's part of how they keep clean. And every now and again, they'll have a little bit of a shit fit and they'll fly into like a window or something, you know. Luckily, the space isn't big enough for them to really get a run up and do too much damage for us, but our pet birds. And then you just get the perfect imprint on the window. And just this dust outline there. Oh, I read tonight that Captain James T. Kirk is on his final mission. Really? Oh, that is sad. But, yeah, I suppose partly expected. Oh, that is sad though, isn't it? And you watched the spider horror movie. There was one in the 90s, arachnophobia, and like I remember coming downstairs as a child, or parents were watching it, or something like that, and I just caught like one scene, and that has haunted me since then. Spiders only come out in the house because they are looking for a mate. Well, it's not me. It explains why they're up my shorts though, Adam, doesn't it? The one that flashed, I asked it, and it did it 3 eggs there, but different colours. It's about 3 now, zigzagging. So yeah, I mean, that would explain why you're getting that sort of content, why you're having that connection, whereas we're not, because I'm not doing it. This is just passive. There's no, active calling or anything like that. So that connection there, they're making it active. It's always hoover the spiders up. Well, if in doubt, how is Otis and the rest there? They're all good. Yeah, they're all right. They did not like the heat, but they've survived after complaining about it. Where do we get to, tubers? That's a nice bright orange one there. Let's zoom in on that before we go over to the tubes. So then, I know that there is a massive spider in my man cave because I saw it a few weeks back, and now I have my feet up and I'm scanning the room and I'm terrified of them. 100%, Rich, I am. Yeah, no grace when it comes to spiders. And if them spiders bite you, you can get quite a nasty infection there. My neighbours did, and it was on antibiotics for 2 weeks. We swore spider wrist. They are nasty ones. That was the main reason why we left. The main reason. There was lots of reasons pushing us, but that was the final straw to actually make the jump in moving from Essex. Was that we just had a false widow infestation in the place we were renting. Couldn't get rid of them, partly because I wouldn't touch them. But I just remember I've told to you guys this story before, but like when we moved, because it was cross country, we had to load up the moving van first, but we kept the mattress and the pets and in the place. That was it. That was all that was there, and we slept on the mattress on the floor with the pets in the morning, load them up, sod off down the other side of the country for the move. So we're on the floor in the mattress there. We've done all the cleaning, moved everything out, and in the middle of the room, in the downstairs living room, on the mattress, and the missus, she goes, like, you feel it? She just went like that, and then you heard a thud, and you're like, what was that? What did she brush off of her nose? That was a weighty thud. And we both sat up, put our phones on, put the light on, and just a big false widow in the middle of the fucking room, and just landed on her face as a bit of a goodbye kiss there. We're like, that is it. I don't know how we survived this last night, but thank God we're going. And if the I only get the lightweight spiders here, and I give them bathroom spiders. I don't mind those ones so much. There's a size rule. Too big to be in the house. But we're definitely getting some exotic ones there. Top 7 deadliest snakes too. So, see, snakes don't bug me. I know that that's one of those real ingrained fears for people, isn't it? There, and obviously I wouldn't want to be bitten by one, but I don't have like a reaction to snakes, rats, mice, anything like that. It's for me, it's spiders and insects. Just ugh. Spiders procreate and colonize to protect an ecosystem there, and it's an evolutionary trait similar to seahorses there. Interesting. I mean, we know they're part of it, aren't they? They are something you don't want to get rid of. They create balance and all this sort of stuff, but Jesus Christ, I don't want them around me. Moths and their crazy flight patterns. Apparently, the reason moths and all that and do that spazzing out around lights, it's not the we used to, they're trying to find the moon. It's not quite that. What is actually happening? Scientists have figured it out now. A nice one in the screen there, guys. Scientists are actually figuring it out. They've got like a light sensor on their back, and what it does is it triggers it's an involuntary thing. It triggers their nervous system, basically to keep them upright. It's how they know which way is up. So at night it's the moon, and during the day it's the sun. Well, that's always up, isn't it? So their nervous system automatically orientates based on that, apparently. So when they're flying around, they haven't got control of that. That is their nervous system, kind of not nervous system is the wrong word for it, but yeah, it's an automatic system basically for them to try and keep them upright, but obviously electric light has screwed them over. If you see the larvae on your wall, leave them. They are helping you. I know it, but also not in. I just can't. I'm so squeamish with them. I've seen the picture of a Australian spider with a bird trapped in its webbing. Oh no, I don't even want to see that. I know that they do eat birds, don't they? But as a bird owner, I don't think I could do that. And Darwinists are also so concerned with the Portuguese, the man of war jellyfish there. It's like a global colony, and that's ancient from the Mediterranean. I saw one of them washed up once as a child. It's one of my earliest memories, like, you know, past the age of normal, before the age of normal memories. I remember it being washed up on a beach, and I was poking it with a shovel, one of those plastic seaside shovels there, and turned out there was a picture of it, and it was just this, you know, man of war that for some reason got to whatever coast it was. But yeah, jellyfish freak me out as well in the sea. They make me go, crabs too. I'm a bit better with crabs, they still do freak me out. But yeah, the man of war, they're really weird because they are like a hole-in-one ecosystem, aren't they? They're made up of several different organisms. It is, you know, that live symbiotically together. It's a weird, doesn't follow the normal thing, jellyfish, for that. It's not the size, it's the speed. And if a spider was a foot bigger but moved like a tortoise, no problem. But it's like the size of 10 people, it moves. I think speed is part of it there, but also I really wouldn't want to see a big spider with a pincers. That would be not a bit of me there. Where are we? In the TikTok there. You were here, thank you, V. That is very helpful there. You can fry spiders. Oh, I wouldn't want to hurt them on purpose, just don't want them in my house. I have a false widow outside and one in the kitchen. I just don't let them bite you. That's how they started for me outside. Then it was the kitchen window, and then they took over the kitchen. Yeah, not for me, those ones. I think the universe knows better than to let me go through that. There'd be there's no more Laura. Yeah, it's just a life flashing before my eyes. With those clowns, Bobby. You see, clowns don't necessarily. I mean, you know, one jumped out of me at night in my bathroom. I probably would be quite distressed. But like, it's not an inherent thing that I'm freaked out by clowns either. I'd be pretty angry ghost if that's the way you went out there. So that's the story. How did it happen there? It was a spider. Was in a bed one summer night there, no clothes on, and I woke up. Oh, there's a flash around here. See if that one repeats, guys. Where did we go? Where did we get to with you? It's jumped ahead on me. One summer, clothes on, and woke up, and there was a moth chilling on my bits with no clothes. He's drawn to the light. Excuse me. Oh, it's a new one. I thought you said your mouth for a second there, so the bits are preferable. And who was talking about spiders? It's taken over TikTok and YouTube. It really has. Yeah, sorry guys, we've descended. Sometimes we do get off track here. It's the heat. What about the gnomes dressed as Clown Sam? You know, I wouldn't have thought I would have been scared of gnomes, but I suppose it's being presented with something in what you think anyway is in real life, coming at you at speed, because you know that whatever their intention is, there's no ambiguity. 30 of them are running towards you at speed, whatever that is. You know it's probably not good, although it did turn out to be the cows just being curious there, carrying a plastic bag. He's just done his shopping, trying to scare me. And I have a picture of my ex-mother-in-law stuck on my front door, and it keeps the bailiffs away. So that's the way of doing it. They were though, those cows. They honestly, they were like that. They were running, they were hoofing right at us, and that's what freaked me out. Because I'm like, when we were last on location, guys, most of you probably know this now, but we did our last on location live on top on the Iron Age hill forts. Didn't realise there'd been grazing cows up there. I mean, it makes sense. There's cow shit, so it tends to be cows. I thought cows weren't that interested. No, they were very interested in us, and I said it was like 11 at night, it was dark, our night vision was gone because we were looking at the screen, and then heard a noise. I looked out and just see, because it's mostly black, like with the silhouette, the horizon sort of, you know, a little bit brighter there, but just saw these 30, somewhere between 15 and 30 white, they look kind of like faces, but with pointy bits as well. And I'm like, just a photo of these things just rushing towards us, really, really fast. They were close by, and you see it on the camera. Literally, the last couple of seconds of the stream, you just see us, both of our heads go like that, and we're quiet and processing what is this? And we're running through that. Is it kids? Are we being rushed by chavs? And my brain was like, no, they're too small for kids. They're, you know, like, you know, the white looks like a face. And then it went to triangle bit at the bottom, that's the white beard, but they're also short, and my little like Rolodex of what could this be out of everything I've ever heard of went, gnomes! Short, white beard, we're being rushed by 30 gnomes. That's literally what my brain thought for a second. Then we had to swiftly stop the stream. It was interesting, that one. I used to be scared of clowns, but then I did a clowning module at uni, and I'm fine now. Is that real? I can't tell if that's real there, but I like that. I have real tears laughing. Oh, it was so silly. I thought it was aliens that was going to have to be worried about doing these streams, but it's just bloody, it's nature there. They were hoofing right at us. They were really inquisitive. If I didn't have all of the kit, because I've got a laptop, I've got the camera, that's all just there, that's all exposed, and because it's a hilltop, there's nowhere to fucking hide as well. And you hear about, how many deaths of cows, people running, cows get spooked and they knock people down. And I'm like, well, my equipment's definitely going, because they were just all into the bags, the camera. Normally I would have been, oh, cows, let's have a bit of a stroke. But yeah, they were nosy, yeah. I thought they were going to be shyer than that, though. You've now got the chat-speaking cows. Like a conductor of an orchestra. Go spiders to the cows. It was a motivational night there. 10 points for that. A free DJ, good spot in there. There's some slight movement. He's still reasonably active, isn't it, there? Generally clowning. Oh, generally clowning is an art form. It is, though. Interesting history to it as well. Oh, definitely. I actually quite like that. That is cool. I always thought that'd be like a specialist college, like, somewhere deep in France that you'd have to go to. Like, the last clowning college you could go to. I can't even do a French accent there. I did half try. Surprised you didn't use Pete as a human shield. I'd never live it down. It's not worth it. But even he was spooked. You have to check out if you on the Tubes feed, because it's there if you scroll through the list of the recording. It's the last few seconds. Even he was spooked. He didn't go to gnomes, but he did thought the local yobs were rushing us. Was a county in my mum's place of work. He used to lick the car window. Oh, that is so cute. They got very sandpapery tongues there. You studied drama. That makes sense, Laura. Last then, yeah, the cows fit. The cows, the clowns. I've gone to cow college. The cow wanted to see the moon. They were really interested. I think it's because we had the Alan costume and that was sticking out the bag. It was bright green. They were really interested in that. Sky is beautiful tonight there, and it's fascinating to think that there could be a life surrounding those stars. And I think it's going to be most of them. But you look at them now, there's got to be life out there. And it's probably looking back to us right now there. Cow College, the chat has gone. It's hot, it's late. I make no guarantees about quality after a certain hour, guys. Where did we get to over on the Tubes? Sorry, guys, we've gone off of a whack. Portuguese man of war, that was it there. Size and speed. Portuguese man of war is a marine organism, often mistaken for a jellyfish there, but it's actually a colonial. Oh, Siphos, I can't pronounce that one, but exactly, yeah. Because I thought it was still under the jellyfish category, but right, it's not a. It's not quite the same. It's not a one thing, is it? It's like this collective, which is really, really cool. Like those, what are those? The tubes that they have, those clear tubes that grow in the ocean. They find them flying around. They're like a weird thing like that as well, aren't they? The deep sea is an excellent look into what alien environments can create species-wise. You're, Peter, bang on there. There is such a range of weird shit down there, and we're barely scratching the surface of it there. And Rock there, have you ever watched the Dr. Jonathan Reed interview, the most controversial alien encounter ever? And I found it fascinating. I wonder if you'd seen it. And we thought about it. That's the one that, there's the chap that met the alien in the woods, attacking his dog, put in his freezer. I have, but it was a while ago. And there was bits of it that I found really, really interesting and quite plausible. But then there was a couple of other things in there that I'm going, for me, it doesn't quite fit. It could be an indicator, but the problem is I'm not an expert, so I don't want to write something off just because something doesn't feel quite right to me, because that could be coming from a gut feeling that's not at all true. So it was an interesting one, if it is that one. It is And Terry, no UFOs. Give up on the grift there. Terry, why didn't I catch that one sooner? So this is the thing where I have to say, Terry, look, you can be skeptical about aliens visiting us and all this sort of stuff there as well. But this is the one few things that I will say that is 100%, and rarely I'll go 100%, is incorrect here, that there are no UFOs. UFO is just the category of unidentified. And there are a hell of a lot of things flying around up there that we don't know what they are. And by we, I don't just mean me, I mean scientists there, things that have been recorded. Our government here in the UK, the US government as well, have have recognised these things as something that's going on. They won't quite say what it fully is, but there is something going on. Now, is it ET visiting us from another world? Maybe, maybe not. There's evidence that points that way, but it isn't conclusive unless you've had those experiences. But also, it could be a number of other equally interesting things as well there. But so, just because you've not seen it in the 10 o'clock news does not mean it's not real. That's just the bias of these things. The world is a lot stranger than the consensus there. The consensus is a good guide to follow for your life, to how you can structure your day-to-day, but it doesn't mean that it is objective there. And it isn't a grift as well there. Because what was it I was watching the other day? And it was hilarious. It was a science communicator debunker. Did anybody else watch Debunking? There. So it was a guy that he's having an argument with at the minute, and so he's a science communicator, debunker, and his explanation, not Dan, this other guy that he was having an argument with, I can't remember what his name was now, but his excuse for why all of this ancient history, pre-civilization, there wasn't alternative, wasn't people just getting it wrong, wasn't other people looking into different areas that or not even speculative there. It was they're all grifting. That was in his head the only way he could explain why anybody would go against the mainstream narrative for these things. Why would you need to question science? And that's the problem. That's the sort of statement that you teach a child. Why would you never question science? Well, that scientists are human. Are you telling me every scientist ever has always been right, has always been led by the best motives and never got it wrong, never shown bias, never lied out there for personal gain? You can't use the sweeping statements with these things. That's the problem, is life is a little bit more complicated across the board, and it's just being lazy. And I think of Chris Farley now, cow tipping. They fall over. Oh my God, that takes me back to the Jackass days. You haven't got time for a bit of a stroke when the cows are attacking you. Very different. The way we deal with a panicked situation, Rich, is very different. And Rock there as well. I was really fascinated, but did get the impression he was telling pickles by the end of the interview. But this is the thing, there are stories like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of it's off. I mean, definitely there's a lot of cases where, and you can kind of understand it. It doesn't make it right, but you understand it, that maybe they did have some anomalous things happening, but the pressure kind of gets onto them after a while. Maybe they tell their story, people believe it, and they kind of want to continue the attention. Or the other version is that people question it, and then because it's so important to them, they have had that experience, and they want everybody else, especially their closer friends, to not think that they're lying. Then they kind of start to add to it a little bit to make it more convincing. And this doesn't just happen in the UFO world. This is incredibly common just in day-to-day life, that people will have various experiences between each other there. Good use of the grid, guys. Various experiences there, and because it feels much more one way to the individual experiencing it for their own various reasons, but objectively it doesn't kind of merit the level of crime or social pushback or whatever it is, but to that person it felt very strong. That's when they people can, and have been recorded a lot of times, they will actually change what happened in the situation to reflect how it felt. Because that's what it felt like to them. And a lot of time, again, it's kind of unconscious, it sneaks in a bit, but we know that happens. So it does. So this is the thing, it's difficult for us to throw everything away. We have to get, I think, better as humans, don't we, to be able to hold things and go, that's in the question mark pile. That's it. We can't put it either which way. We can kind of still evaluate it and go, likely this or likely not. We have to apportion our resources, whether that's time, money, all these things. Somehow we can filter these things, but to throw them off completely, I think, we're so keen, aren't we, to kind of like put things in there, our boxes there. And the cows probably come over to smell you because they wanted to see you and smell the bag. I thought they'd be in bed by that time. I thought they would be in bed. I thought they'd be asleep then, but no, they were very, very curious there. That's a bug spray. I never bother with that as well there. And what's that? There's Terry, there's birds, balloons, drones and satellites, etc. there, but clearly one of those, without being 100%, which one? So technically UFOs, this channel isn't about unconfirmed birds, etc. So again, that's the problem, Terry, right? Most of the time, it will be those things. There are going to be more of them. So statistically, it's going to be interpretation or a lack of data or something like that. That is what is going to come up. But that is very different from all of the time. The problem is, if you are never looking into these things and never going, right, I'm going to actually pay a little bit of attention, I'm going to put in the effort to see if we can get a better measurement and understand things, then you are never going to see anything. It's just confirmation bias there. That's that, and that is the big problem with these things. And it has been officially recognised by the US government, by the UK government and the French government that there is this category of things that are observed quite regularly that we do not know what they are. And they don't appear to be known or even speculated weather phenomena. They do not appear to be, enemy aircraft or things like that, because there are things that you can filter out, and there are things that do clearly display anomalous behaviours and things that we can't move there. That's a nice flaring one at the second there, very interesting. So there are also, it was the Condign report from the UK government in the 99, 2000, something like that. The conclusion of that report was that this is an official Ministry of Defence report that has since been declassified. You can find it online. The conclusion of that report was that a lot of these objects observed do seem to be displaying patterns of sentient behaviour. Their conclusion was that sentient plasma, a life form made from plasma, was a likely candidate and needed more investigation. So, that is looking into it. And in fact, we find this, what was the other paper, where it's not just bad data that creates all these gaps for these things to hide in. Again, the skeptical argument, and being skeptical is fine, but the argument most of the time is, well, if we had more data, we'd be able to tick these off as birds, as planes, as drones, and all that sort of stuff. But actually, what has happened in the past when they have looked at these, studied these things, they don't find that. They don't find the explanations and things like that. They actually go, no, it's still more anomalous. And the more data you have, the more anomalies stand with these things, and the governments know exactly what they are most likely to be, but they know that they aren't aliens there, and being classified doesn't mean aliens. I've been looking into UFOs for 40 years and I've escaped the bullshit. So that's interesting, Terry, but I think there's a good chance that you might be quite right around a lot of the things here. I won't say that aliens are definitely visiting Earth. I won't say, because I haven't had that experience myself. And you might be right, that things, but there are certain things that are just out of the realms there. There is still this grey area. And I don't think to do a sweeping statement, this is it, even within the UFO community here. So when people come in and they say, it's not extraterrestrials, it's interdimensional, that's it. And I go, well, immediately I push back, because it is unlikely to be one thing. There are this big anomalous category here has so many different facets and flavors and examples and all of that sort of stuff that it's unlikely to just be one thing. So immediately when you're collapsing it all down to that, it's all right if you go, well, actually, most of these things I think are going to be this sort of stuff. That's fine. That's an interesting angle for these things. But the definites show bias. That's the thing, the definites with these things, with the limited information. Like, we do not, and I do not, have enough information right here to say 100% anything. I can't say 100% it's aliens. I can't say it's extraterrestrials. I can't say it's interdimensional or extratemporal or whatever the variations are. We can't say 100%. We can say, this is where I'm leaning. But you've got to leave it with the information that we've got to hand on all of those. It's not as clear-cut as we like it to be. I do know man, space aliens are totally real there, and so are alternative realities. Strange thing about alternate realities, though, they have a really weird Elton John music videos. But I'm open to a lot of that sort of stuff, and I do lean that way. Like there is. It's like when scientists say there is no evidence for alien life out there in the galaxy. The Fermi paradox. Where's all the aliens? That's very disingenuous. There is evidence. it's circumstantial evidence, but there's a lot of it. And the reason it's just circumstantial and not conclusive is the limitation of our technology. You know, this is the problem with that. So it's a bit disingenuous to say, well, we haven't caught anything yet. None of the evidence that has popped its head up has turned out to be aliens. That's the wrong way of framing the question. There is lots of interesting candidates out there, but it's the limit of our technology. There are so many interesting anomalous signals there that looks alive. And again, astrobiologists are looking to those distant planets now. We're starting to just about get that ability to look at the atmospheres of those distant planets. And it's looking like there are potentially gases around them there that only, as far as we know, made by biological life. It's not confirmed, it's not 100% by any means, because we just don't have the technology to confirm it with a lot of confidence, but it does look that way. You know, there is, so to say otherwise conclusively, you know, but again, if there is life out there, if that life is abundant, is it reaching us? That's still another question there. What's that one? I'll just skim it there. And there is absolutely zero evidence, even a strong potential evidence for aliens. And UFO videos and pictures are always mundane explanations. No, see, that's not true. In your opinion, but that is not true. There is evidence out there. You know, there is lots of candidate signals. There are lots of stars doing very strange things. Now, that individually, those cases are not like conclusive, all right, and that is why science cannot say, and that's kind of fair enough. We cannot 100% say, but again, it's the limit of the technology. It doesn't mean it's not there. There is a lot of circumstantial evidence that says there is something going on. Again, it's not conclusive 100%, but it's worth looking. You know, to say that there is no evidence at all is very disingenuous. It's just not the case. There's a decent book called The Science of Delusion by Rupert Sheldrake, a very interesting chap, Sheldrake, for that one, and it argues that the foundational assumptions that science already understands reality, specifically through materialism, has hardened into an unquestionable belief system. Oh no, that is bang on what has happened. That is bang on. There are chefs and there are cooks, right, in this world, right? And a cook will follow a recipe religiously, and in McDonald's, you don't want that burger to change. You want the same thing over and over and over again. But then there are chefs who will go in and go, I'm going to slightly cook this in a different style, I'm going to add this to it, I'm going to make it my own. They can work with these things. They're the masters. They know how it works, how it integrates. Others just follow the pattern. But we mistake the rules for the reality. You know, look, science is great, but it's our best working guess at the time with the tools that we have. It is not always objectively true. It is always based on our limitations as humans, but also as with our sensors and equipment. So we can never, it is not scientific to say 100% with lots of things with that. And that's not as a cop-out, it's just we have to get better at leaving these things in a vague balance there. But I think it's exactly what's on there. And it preaches to someone with a lot more experience than you, and there's nothing that cannot be explained there. The MOD are clearly mistaken. No evidence has ever been released that is unexplainable. This is the thing. That is just wrong. And, you know, coming in here, Clay, I've got far more experience than yourself there. Maybe, but you can spend a lot of time doing something and not be any good at it. I'm just going to say that bluntly, because this is the thing. There are lots of things out there now. The evidence that's being released may actually have explanations for it, but just because you can come up with, oh, well, that looks like a balloon to me, doesn't mean that it actually is a balloon. You know, that's when the science isn't coming into this. That's just not the way to view it. You can say, I think it is, and I don't think this is particularly strong. And there's definitely stuff out there that does. You go, what the fuck are you on about? There's nothing anomalous to that at all. You know, like we see, there are other streams that will go on, and let's see all the objects we're seeing around here now. Each one of them, they'll go, oh my God, it's a UFO, it's a UFO. And they'll block people for saying it's satellites. But yeah, they're man-made satellites up there. I mean, just statistically, now I don't know 100%, but statistically, most of them are going to be man-made satellites, and until it does something which breaks the behavior patterns of satellites, then we can't say otherwise. But that's the thing, we've got to get used to being things that, to slam it down to conclusions there based on the limited data is just not the case, no matter how much we want it to be. And, where's it gone? It's coming through in the chat. Where did we get to there? No, I've done that one. It's just as much evidence that the fairies existed, maybe more. Well, it's evidence, but it's not slam dunk evidence, is it? You know, and this is the thing. There are various degrees of evidence there, but I would argue, in fact, you're actually touching on something very, very interesting there, Terry. But have you you must have, in your experience there, you read Passport to Magonia. There's your answer to that. Sheldrake contends that this ideology restricts scientific inquiry and should be replaced with open-minded empirical investigation. I think he's right about what's going on, but wrong about the solution. Because what's happened is that we forget as humans that we have to operate with belief and faith. You know, we need to navigate the world that is uncertain. We don't have the time to test everything scientifically ourselves. So we have to have faith in an institution, an organization, an individual when they say something, you know, so therefore we can get on with our day. We can trust that they've already figured that out and I can go and do the thing. But, you know, that isn't scientific. And so the way that science is currently, it is, you know, again, these are acts of faith. A lot of the time there. So it's going to be, we just need to recognize that that's what we're doing and realize, okay, that belief isn't the same as a scientific conclusion that is evidence backed there. You know, there is, you know, a real repeatable measurement around something. It goes both ways as well. We have to, with what we're seeing as well, we have to say, we have to be a little bit less confident, you know, with what we think we're experiencing, what we think we're observing. But science also has to kind of be a little bit, you know, off of the brakes as well with it, I think. Liberty, how did it go? Good to see you there. I saw it pop up earlier. I heard some strange things about his plane there, so it's very interesting to see there. Yes, a bacteria at best there, and they can't fly spacecraft there. And point me to the evidence. There is none. There's loads out there, and I'm not doing the homework for you. I'm not here to convince you. And to be honest, Terry, you are actually more than welcome to have a skeptical opinion, because it keeps us grounded. There's plenty of times where I've got a bit carried away, and it's good to have a different voice in here to kind of keep you grounded. You just got to make sure you're respectful with it. You know, that's pretty fine. But you're right. But look, bacteria, that's a great start. You know, but when you came in, you said there's no room for alien life. I find bacteria pretty exciting. You know. So that's already a bit of a middle ground here. When we're imprecise with our speech, and that's fair enough, you know, we're trying to communicate. But this is what I think it's life, even if it is just bacteria out there, is still interesting in here. You know, the possibilities around that. And I don't have conclusive evidence at all, but there are indications. You know, we observe what look to be technological radio signals relatively frequently out in the galaxy, and the more sensitive our equipment gets, the more of these anomalous signals that we do detect. Now, the problem is we can't confirm, and rightly so, that those signals, although they look technological in nature, they don't look like organic radio signals. They don't appear to be. You know, they fit exactly what we'd look essentially for you know, as a SETI signal. The reason that we don't conclude, we don't push them over the line of, you know, definite, look, there's aliens out there, lads, is because we need a second detection of it, basically, of the same signal. And the issue with SETI at the minute is it's mostly done in retrospect. Sometimes it can take them 20 years or more to check the data, to go, oh, there was an interesting signal from that star. And then by the time they point a dish on it, 20 years have gone by, and no wonder they're probably not sending the messages. In fact, we do think that they'd probably be sending them infrequently if they're doing like a high-powered directed message. So by its own method, science is not going to be able to do it. So we are limited by that of the technology at the time, but there's plenty of evidence which points in the direction. So, and I can't say 100%. I have not sat there. I've seen some strange things. I've seen some very strange things, which I do think push the boundaries of, you know, how a satellite can move and behave. But I can't say 100% because at the end of the day, I'm quite ignorant. I don't know all of these things. I'm not, you know, able to fully test the stuff. So I can't say 100%. I've not had ET land in front of me, shake my hand and tell me all of the details. So I just don't know 100% with those things. I can tell you which way I'm leaning, which way I believe, and, you know, I think is more warmer. But that's not the grift that you come in saying this was. You know, that is very, very different. You know, this is about what is possible out there, and isn't it interesting? And I think it's worth our time to look at this a bit more. That is what we're doing. You know, we're saying we think this is interesting, you know, but we're not saying that it's definite. I lean very, very strongly that it is, and I do think there is enough evidence that is out there that does not go to the obvious, you know, like I think some of the stuff that the US is releasing, on the face of it, looks very, very interesting, but they have more data on it than we do. So, and that which they're purposely hiding it, obviously for, you know, security reasons there. But if we had that full data, I think that would, in those individual cases of evidence, that would answer that there. But until we have that, they are strong candidates. You know, until they take away the black squares and it shows you what they were measuring for speed, distance, size, and all that other shit, then we can go, right, okay, look, there are those measurements. That data has been captured. You know, maybe you're right. Maybe it is something that they're aware of. With it there, but I don't also think a lot of it is, unless it is some sort of weird sort of trick where it looks more anomalous than it is, but the measurements actually show you that it isn't doing crazy speeds. I do think these things are not just, you know, 2 or 3 steps ahead technologically, and we're not really in the day and age now where, you know, a mad scientist can go work in the desert and come up with something so incrementally different than what the current technology is. You know, it just doesn't happen like that anymore. You can do a faster plane, you can do a quieter plane, you can do a stealthier plane, but they're still planes. To do the other job, it requires much bigger communities, and you kind of know that there's something going on there. And I've seen it, there's something out there. Exactly, it's the questions, the possibilities, the what is it, Liberty and Witness. No, and Syntax there. It does seem that no one at all on the planet knows what UFOs really are there, and I think some governments just know as much more information. And I mean, that could well be it. And the HD footage, they may have more information, but maybe it's something we can't fully conceive of. Maybe it's a lot stronger than that. Again, we have limited sensors, don't we, with these things there. Swamp gas Shane, I mean, that's the old school one. And to be fair, there are things that are out there that do look a bit strange at first and then do turn out to be you know, mundane things, so definitely there. But videos of balloons are balloons, and same with every other mundane explanation there. You can't see the obvious reference, 3 sightings that cannot be explained, and aliens are a potential option. So, but this is the thing, how do you know that they're balloons? I mean, take a lot of the FLIR footage that you're seeing there. You know, if we are to take it that it is put forward there, so they won't release the specific data, but the authorities have come forward saying that this is the visual, the forward-looking infrared radar of what it looks, and they're saying that, you know, by our sensors, we're not telling you the specifics because we have to hide it here, that, you know, this was moving, you know, at these sorts of speeds. It was particularly fast, and, you know, it was anomalous for these reasons. So we have to take them at their word, or say that they're just outright lying. And if you're saying they're outright lying, that isn't necessarily evidence-based, that's just opinion. But until then, you know, you've got to say, well, then that's not a balloon if it's doing that, if it's moving from left to right, up and down, you know, if it's not, you know, just following the wind motion. There are things out there that definitely can be balloons. I think there are some really interesting ones that, you know, it's not clear. That, you know, like those jellyfish ones there, you know, seeing those ones flying over Iraq and stuff. Now, off camera, apparently they do some strange movement, but it's off camera, you know, so how do we know? But until then, I've heard people call it a cluster of balloons. And I look at that, and again, I'm just as ignorant either way in this. I'm not, you know, going to be able to know for sure. But I could kind of see balloons, but it doesn't also look that much like balloons. But there's enough of an ambiguity for it to be possible. But there's lots of those videos out there that just aren't like that. You know, gimbal, go faster, just the basic ones. But some of the recent drops as well. Like, there was one, we were saying this the other day, that was actually in shot with an airliner. And, you know, you've not seen that one. Well, I hadn't seen that one before. You know, the infrared, you know, vision of these objects. But there was a commercial airliner behind it in the distance, so you kind of had a reference point for that, for size and speed, and that was really interesting because it was moving anomalously in that. And then there was the ones where appeared to be going from the atmosphere then into the water. Now, it's not 100% that it was doing that, but that's really what it bloody looked like. So there's definitely of interest. There's definitely something that, you know, the transmedium nature of the craft. And where are we? Video of cats are cats. Exactly. It just talked about a multiple reality potential from a double slit experiment there. Lectures are led to the invention of the biqubit there, and he argued that as little as one hydrogen collision could potentially cause quantum interference in between alternate realities. I'm curious. I like to explore those sorts of ways. I've got some theories around that, and it's a good streamer. You broke a wire, but now you're editing the F1 coming in and jumping in on the new plane. Awesome there. So him jumping on the new plane. So why was he doing this? I already mentioned this earlier, that maybe there was some shenanigans afoot there. So why did he just pop by for a quick one of that one? And it's retracted, that one, Terry. I have to see the next one. The Phoenix Lights is an interesting mass UFO sighting. So I think there's something interesting going on with the Phoenix Lights, but it's a belief. You know, with the information that we do have available, the flares, I think, is a cop-out, but I don't have evidence that it is. I just go, that feels like a cheap sighting, you know, like, but I don't have evidence. So I'm in the realm of belief around that one. So that would be like a fair one to say I contest that, you know, because there isn't, I think there's one grainy footage of the actual lights itself, and it doesn't show enough clearly. I lean that it is, but that is a belief. Right, it's there. Where are we? There. And bacteria on a planet light years away is completely different than aliens crashing in the desert after flying across the universe. There it is. It is totally different there, Terry. But I've not said that that's what we're looking for. We're looking for UFOs. Don't know if we're going to get any. We don't know what they are. You know, like, and look, tell me, like, the part of me, obviously, I would prefer a nice classic Roswell metal spaceship flying around up there. I'd love to see the shape on the screen flying as it goes by. But I don't know if that's actually going to happen. You know? That's the thing, you know. I find the idea of bacterial life out there, I mean, I think, you know, it's going to be proven pretty quickly, but I find that just as interesting. You know, I really do, with that as well. And obviously, we're not going to see bacteria flying aircraft as we go by, but they're the sort of things that we do talk about discussing, and all of that stuff there. Now, again, the things that we are doing unidentified, we don't know. It could be a weird weather phenomena that, you know, we just haven't even discovered yet and nobody's thinking of. You know, that is a possibility for these sorts of things, you know, there as well. But it's still interesting. It's still interesting. As soon as you collapse something down to a specific, then you're going to have a bad time. You know, so the way I say this, the way I say my personal belief structure around this at the minute is I say, is alien life going to be out there? I believe 100% that there is going to be alien life out there. That is the mainstream scientific belief now. Now we know there are planets around other stars, that there is alien life going to be out there. Now, do I believe that there is, you know, more complex and intelligent life, potentially civilizations? I do strongly. I think it's a numbers game with that, and I think there are enough other indicators out there, but it's still belief. You know, it's based on those observations that are out there, but it's not science. You know, I believe that that's going to be in the 90-odd% there. Now, do I feel that they're visiting Earth? Again, there's a lot of contextual stuff there. So in a general sense, maybe, but as soon as we get specific on, like, the sightings, you know, do they come from Zeta Reticuli? You know, are they definitely, you know, it's all reductions of that. Did Roswell happen? I think that's one of the more plausible ones, but again, there's sub percentages of belief there. It doesn't have to be a binary yes or no, because honestly, there isn't the data publicly available. And I know, as a guy sitting in a green room most nights with a camera, I ain't gonna know. I can't get that information. I'm seeking it, and I'm seeking more information around it, but we can't know there. So what's your three top pieces of evidence to make you lean to aliens being... Oh, fucking jumped ahead of me. So aliens being the explanation there. Oh, good question. But I don't know. I don't know if I would put that as a case. What I would say is, look, the way I view it at the minute is there are lots of interesting things going on. I don't know what the overall story of that is. I think it's unlikely to just be extraterrestrials, or just to be this, or just be that. But I don't know what that explanation is at the minute. I'm just not intelligent enough to put the dots together. It's a nice bright one on the screen there. I'm not intelligent enough, to, honestly, to link those dots. At the second there, the way I'm leaning at the second isn't going to be... Again, it's in the realms of hypothesis there, and again, it's based on certain things, but it's not, you know, it's not going to be of much value to anybody other than me. That's the problem, you know. And this is why this isn't a podcast of me telling you all the things that I know, because I don't really know that much. You know, we're doing this together, we're having a chat, and we're hearing new things that could be interesting, trying to connect dots. But I mean, for example, I would lean to a large part of the phenomena being the sentient plasma life, the plasmoids. You know, I think that there are groups of actual scientists looking into this now. There are lots of mainstream scientific, there's a handful of reports that do point in that direction, both from the UK and the US. These plasmoid lights do seem to be displaying that sort of behaviour, and I think, based on majority of the sightings, that would explain a good chunk of it. Now, that isn't aliens necessarily. That is most probably just a different form of life, if it is true, that is so strange we haven't really noticed it or accepted it as life. but it's probably been here on Earth the whole time. Oh, a shooting star there. That was cool. So that's where I probably lean for like the biggest chunk of the phenomena there. 1K in there, not bad at all, Liberty. Not bad at all for that one. And I like the radicalist quantum theory there. Huge amount of friction to the status quo. Yeah, I do think so. I think, but what we know about whatever objective reality is, if that is the correct way to even think about it, is going to be in the small percentages here. You know, like the more you learn, the more you just go, you know what, I don't fucking know. I just don't. The more, you know, confusing it looks with it there. See, this is the problem with that response there. You know, that is still like a belief based, and you're entitled to the belief there, Terry. You know, with the, you know, that you can guarantee it's not going to be the most unlikely explanation. Like that's belief, and it's faith. It's not a scientific argument, and you're entitled to that. And I think it's a valid opinion because you still actually might be right with that. I'm not disputing that at all, but it is belief. And it isn't coming from anything more than that there, because there are other people that will argue that, you know, you're viewing it the wrong way, and that's what it's all about. Modern science has become restricted by doggedness that are treated as unquestionable truths rather than methods of inquiry. And how do we know? Light is consistent, for example. But exactly, it's people, they're getting science around the wrong way. They're treating science religiously. Science is a really awesome tool, but the way it works is pushing the belief the next incremental bit forward for it. It can only work from what it knows. So it's no good at telling you what could be out there, and that's not the job of science. That is not the job. That is what for culture, for art, for philosophy is to go, these are the areas of interest, and then science goes and looks and refines it, understands the details, proves it, disproves it, all that sort of stuff there. It's incredibly valuable, but it's a tool, and you need to be using it for the right job with it. And jellyfish are balloons, and I can even show you a bunch of balloons, that much. They are Eid celebration balloons. See, that, Terry, I like. That I like, actually, because that had always been something that sat with me, right? But the Eid celebration there, so that could be something that you could match then. So with the are the jellyfish videos time stamped, like, or date stamped, I should say, because that will give you the match, wouldn't it, for Eid? Because if that is the case, then I'll be really interested in that. And again, I think this is for the wider audience there. This is why it's valuable, because that is a really interesting explanation. I hadn't heard that part of it. Again, part of me going, I could see the balloons, I can see in my limit the shape, that makes sense for that. But you know, there are go fast, gimbal, all those sorts of ones. Definitely for me, I can't see a balloon any which way, let alone if it is acting in the ways that those pilots were describing, you know, for it there. But does anyone know, do the jellyfish ones, in the data that is shown, is there a recording date of that? Because that would be very quick to pinpoint down there. And if that is the case, I will push my belief around the jellyfish. For me, that would push me into the more likely balloons quite a bit there. You need to check out Mick West there, and he investigates the correct way there, and a lot of your mysteries are answered there. And to be honest, Terry, a lot of the mysteries will be. A lot of them will be. Most of these things are going to be for the limitations of our experience and our knowledge and the data we have it. But that's the thing. For me, any one thing, I'm not set on an overall. I just find it all really fascinating. So it doesn't matter if there was a way of proving that there are no extraterrestrials are visiting Earth. Wouldn't really bother me. I'd have to change the name of the stream, but I'd still find it equally as fascinating. I think it's unlikely, just given the timescales and the vastness of space, but it is definitely a possibility there as well. I've heard, the problem is I haven't seen a lot of Mick West stuff. I've heard, is it Mick West? Is he the one that's going to be on that UFO advisory panel? Because the problem is I hear a lot of secondhand about Mick West, and obviously that's going to be biased from the believer side, saying, oh, he's doing that. But for me, it's all about the attitude with it there. And I get frustrated with UFO content as much as I get frustrated with anti-UFO content as well. You know, like if I start sniffing an overconfidence in things, that's not for me. So I'm not too fussed on the outcome there. But the Phoenix Lights were flares there, and there's an overlay, a video showing a day and night views, and the flares are drop behind the mountain in the distance there, and they aren't alien craft lights going out. So an overlay showing the day and night views there. So how would they get day and the night view to the day, so you can see the mountain ranges, so that's why they disappeared, because they went behind the thing. So my, again, limited understanding here, again, the Phoenix Lights ones is one of the ones that without better evidence to see, it could well be flares. But my understanding was there wasn't any, or there was maybe one actual video, but it's like incredibly grainy. The other videos were from flares that were dropped, so it is on record that was it National Guard or whoever it was, they did drop flares not long after the reported sighting, and that's what a lot of people do have on video. But there was the timestamp of the sighting was before those planes were in the air to do the flares, so there may have been flares previously. Definitely open to that as a possibility, but there wasn't the good quality recording to really know around it. But what about, this is the thing, we're picking up the easy ones that we're offering up, that I'm already saying that I'm curious that might not be, but there are other ones out there. I mean, I've heard people talk about, was it the Go Fast, I think it was, or the Tic Tac one, talking about it being a duck and doing the calculations and stuff like that. And look, I'm not smart enough to be able to do the maths myself there, but this is a belief, statement of belief. But I am going to be incredibly fucking worried if those multi-million-pound sensor suites were picking up ducks and the pilots were thinking that they're anomalies. I would have thought that we would have heard of pilots coming out going, yeah, we lost 5 missiles because we thought it was the enemy, and it turned out to be a duck. I just... If that's an error rate for me that seems very implausible, there needs to be a high burden that happens a lot, that they're gonna that level of technology and pilot training is going to mistake it for ducks. But again, it's a statement of belief, because I don't actually know, and I ain't done the maths myself. Oh bloody hell, guys! Fuck. I've been on half an hour longer than I meant to, and I've got work tomorrow, so I'm going to have to come off tonight there. Sorry about that one, yeah. Quickly on that, the Draco equation shows it's unlikely that they are advanced and capable of travelling through the universe in the same way that very time that we exist. That is a very good point. It's not just space, it's time. Do we all exist at the same time? The problem with the Drake equation, though, is it's all about the numbers that you input with, and obviously as our understanding of the universe expands, those numbers change, because we know more. We know there's more planets, and the maths on that changes. So it has changed over a while. So it's only as good as the data you put into it there. So yeah, sorry guys, and TikTokers, you're well behind. I'm sorry, totally missed all of those ones. So sorry guys, I'm going to have to skip forward on those ones, because I'm half an hour later than I should have, so I've not been able to finish off those messages, but we'll catch you all later. We'll be on tomorrow night, guys. Should be another clear one. So again, sorry if I haven't read your messages. Normally we do try and make our way through them all, but yes, I meant to come off at 1. Sorry, I do like a good chat there. I do like a good flat chat. If somebody can look into the jellyfish and see if they are timestamped, because I'm actually really interested in that one, and that is why it's really good, guys. That so I actually thank Terry for joining us tonight, though. Even if we started off contested, I'd like the things that input is how we all grow. So we always want this place to be a place where we can share out the ideas, as long as we're not forcing other people to our ways of beliefs there. So we're throwing a buffet, everybody brings a dish, and we're not going to eat the vegans to force the vegans to eat the sausage rolls or anything like that there. But this is how you learn, because I thought that was quite interesting there. And also there, and so I've got to finish this one. So you still believe in Roswell? That says quite a lot there. It was Project Mogul, and the additional dead alien piece was added in the 80s. The original story was very basic there. So Project Mogul doesn't fit with the actual dates. It may still have been projects and stuff like that, but it doesn't actually fit with the timeline of the earlier parts of events with that as well. So again, I didn't say I believed in Roswell fully. I think it's on my spectrum of belief. It's one of the more interesting ones because there's a lot of contextual stuff around it, especially some stuff that's coming out more recently. But again, it's not a slam dunk there. But anyway, we're going to have to go for that. Right. Right, yeah, I'm going to have to scroll through on those ones later, guys. Sorry, but anyway, we'll catch up with you all tomorrow night there. We'll catch you all later, guys. Bye-bye.